Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the brief delay in the show. We found out that I can't figure out where wires go, so I sort of just dove in there and plugged things in, and I'm hoping it's working. Maybe I'm talking to nobody. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, yeah, welcome to Subwoofer Entertainment. We are wolves. We house in a tree. For those of you
And
just
we
joining
entertain.
us, we do entertain. Thank you. Would you like to finish it?
No, because I don't do it good.
Well, I don't do it good, but I'm definitely gonna upstage you when I get the chance. Yeah, I don't have things right now. You know, I'm never truly prepared, but
You put the go ahead, finish.
but yeah. So we are for those of you not haven't been with us before. Set's a lot like a music appreciation class. We basically discuss different films, media, video games, music, and sort of figure out what everyone's ideas and opinions and views of it are. My name is Zack Gray, and I've been elected the spokesperson for this beginning. However, the mastermind and master of ceremonies behind this is...
Hey guys, my name is Scarfy Conley. How's it going?
Also joining us is our wonderful brother and musically talented mastermind.
Cruz.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
And there's someone else. So we actually don't, unfortunately, have our youngest. He was unable to make it. He got busy with real life stuff. So we're going to give a shout out to Shujja. We love you, brother. We'll be seeing you on the next one.
Love you, Shujja.
And I think we have somebody else today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we do. I don't know what's going on, but I feel a bit of a Japanese sort of vibe going on. Is that a kitsune is in our treehouse? So.
A new challenger approaches.
I will call pest control. Excuse me.
No. It's okay. You don't need it. You don't need to scare her.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, one thing, I'm sorry, because I am woefully unprepared. So yeah, Aaron, please introduce yourself for our viewers who don't know.
Oh my gosh, Zack, what have you done?
I have broken everything. Apologies for the image. That was actually mislinked to an old Zootopia show we did. So we're referencing a show within a show. We do that. But Aaron, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Aaron. I'm the nine-tailed kitsune you've seen wandering around a bunch of cons.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
And probably hug.
Hopefully, yes. If you've taken my picture,
Yes.
I've probably hugged you.
Many times, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. Wag.
Are you putting I can't believe you drunk ass wolf.
Yep. That's what I do. But you try to get upset with me, but you're the one who puts me in charge of things. I mean, it's not like this is a surprise to anybody. All right, let's see if this one works. There we are. Alrighty. So just adding a little bit of information here, and so starting us off, I believe our first thing is musica.
Well, hold on.
Do you want to talk more?
Well, a little bit. I want to. I mean, like, we have a nine-tailed kitsune on our show, and I want to like.
Very well.
That's why we can't have nice things.
No,
Aaron.
Exactly
Well, I promise not to break them.
Okay.
Okay, I've roomed with this kitsune. Don't believe that promise.
You
have. You have too many tails. They go everywhere.
But they're
Okay.
nice and floofy, and they make
They
nice
are.
pillows too.
They are.
All right. So Aaron, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I am I'm a nine-tailed kitsune. I've been in the fandom officially since 2013.
Mhm.
My first con was Fur Fright. It was actually the last Fur Fright, believe it or not.
Sadness.
But it was sadness. But don't worry, they brought it back as for Apocalypse. But that's another story.
Mhm.
Then I got my first suit. Believe it or not, I got my first suit February of 2015. So it's about 14 months old. It's already been to a bunch of cons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an understatement. And basically my goal is to break the mold that realistic suitors don't really give hugs.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of realistic fursuiters, like, people don't really go up to them.
Huh.
So I'm like, you know what? I want to try something different.
They're afraid if you touch them or look at them wrong, they'll break them.
They're basically like make you their dinner. But
Yeah,
But
you're.
no.
Yeah, I'm playing with one of your tails, and it's just like so fluffy. I almost want to lay on
I
it.
wonder what's for dinner.
The
Hmm.
fun fact:
But no.
Aaron provides a service to suitors that don't actually have a room to just sleep on the tail for the night. It's great. It's a wonderful service. It's an addendum to the headless lounges.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Zack. Zack, I don't mean to interrupt, but is there any way that you can put like
I'm working on exactly what you're talking
Esteban-
about. Focus on your show.
Esteban's Twitter
I'm
handle? Yeah.
again. I'm doing exactly what you're talking about. Focus on your show.
Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a chat room that they're all talking, right?
Yeah. Everyone is blowing up because they're hearing you.
Oh my god!
Look at all the hearts.
Hi.
Actually, is anyone checking the chat? Because there's people, chatting around. Do you have a look in the chat, Aaron? You're welcome to talk to them.
Well, let me. Mike.
What happened?
We can hear you.
Now I can hear
I
you.
still hear you.
I banged it off. Let me look at the chord issues. Let me look at the other script. Oh.
That all sounds interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, you're seeing all the chat. I see what it is.
Yes,
Sudden
I am.
realization.
Just sudden realization, like, oh, you know, yes,
Hey, didn't stick you there.
And for anyone hearing the dings, I apologize. There was a slight little thing I had to take care of. So now, theoretically, there we go.
yes, I'm actually in there. I'm just saying, oh man.
Everyone, give shout outs to Erin. Let her know.
So Esto, Aaron, you really don't care.
At this point, I really don't.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows me by both now.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I'm using Esteban right now, because it's for legacy use.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm gonna wean it off. I started doing that at FWA,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm starting to wean it off. I actually now have 2 Aaron badges,
Oh, nice.
which are pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of them. I think you sent me a picture.
Yeah, because you followed me down to the artist alley to pick it up.
Yeah, like a creepy stalker that I am. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say more of a Hugwolf stalker, but that's the other.
The Hugwolf stalks its prey.
And you guys are gonna see each other again at
MFF.
MFF. And by the way, I am still envious of Shiny for getting that room. That was crazy ridiculous. I don't know how he got it so fast, but you two are lucky sons of bitches. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
We're
quick.
got the same room arrangement as last year. This should be fun.
Nice.
Oh wait, is it confirmed we have the same exact room or arrangement? I thought you meant the same room.
Oh god, if it was the same room, I would be like bouncing off the walls. Did you tell everyone how good our room was?
No. I mean, like, you'll do it more justice because it was spacious and wonderful. But I am also incredibly, for those of you who can't tell by the name Booze Wolf, I'm incredibly, drunk at cons. So everything's an adventure to me, to the point that I don't remember specifics. I just remember things that happened. So yeah, but no, it was. The people were great. It was good rooming with you and Rocket. The room was spacious. The beds were nice. When I did sleep on them, I normally didn't make it to the bed. I just slept on the windowsill. But
I remember that night. It was really nice. It was take a right out of the door, go down the hall for like 50 feet, and boom, con space.
Yes, it was right
no
on the
elevator, no nothing.
By the way, Scarfy's trying to get our attention. Sorry, Scarfy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to BLFC. By the way, I wish.
That's right. Awesome.
I wish you guys can go. That'd be really awesome if you did. But
I would love to, but I don't have the cash for that. So I will maybe someday. That's one of, like, honestly, Shiny and I are talking. California West Coast, we want to hit up more of. So we're going to try to schedule cons around there. So, and BLFC is one of the cons we like to go to. I think you mentioned Califer at one point. So.
Oh, by the way, guys, we have a show.
Right. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, we don't.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Let's start off with Cruz with music. Cruz.
Yeah. All right. So, well, before we get into the less happy stuff, I was fortunate to be able to go to Boston and see Entombed, Exmortus, and Amon, Amarth, and also be at the very front. That was an amazing show. Amarth kicks ass. Enough said. All right.
Do you wanna tell them who Amon Amarth is for the people who don't know?
There are melodic death metal, or as in layman's terms, Viking metal, from Tumba, Sweden, and I say they're pretty famous leaders of their genre, and probably they have the best album covers in the world
Really?
of any band.
Just the art?
The art,
Uh,
yeah, the art is insane. All right, and well, you know what's coming.
mhm.
Prince. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Music world has been shocked by the death of Prince, one of the greatest pop rock musicians of all time. Not only was he a great singer and songwriter, he played guitar, bass, keyboard, drums, and more. He was very influential in both the realms of pop and rock and roll, and especially by blending those genres.
Right.
Man.
You know, I heard the news about Prince, and I'm sorry to say I was never a big Prince fan, because of my one-track tastes on music. I'm not saying that his death wasn't a sad thing, because it was, but at the same time, it's like I can't believe Prince was liked by so many people, and I had no idea about it.
I mean,
He was huge. I mean, let's this way: MTV stopped all programming and actually played only music from Prince, music videos, even Purple Rain.
nice.
He was the
Wow. Wow.
second biggest music death in probably the last 10 years.
Since Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Right.
That's insane. I'm like, because we look at MTV nowadays and it's nothing but bullshit music all the
Exactly.
Right.
So good on them for MTV for having a bit of class. That's really great. But at the same time, it's like I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about him. I think the only thing I researched about was that he played in the Super Bowl not too long ago.
He did. I think
I think that was the first time I heard of him. Actually, I think was that show.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
At that point, he wasn't called Prince anymore. He was called a symbol,
Oh, is that
formerly
it?
known as Prince. Yes,
Yeah.
there's that little gimmick he had going on.
The
for a
artist
while.
formerly known as Prince. Yeah, I remember those.
Yes.
You want to know something funny? I'm not gonna I'm trying to keep this as PG-13 as possible, but
Good luck.
I know. I went on the website. Let's just call it Cornhub, and they had the Prince. It had his guitar symbol as the P on the.
Oh
website.
wow.
Nice.
So
That's mad respect.
I don't know why, but apparently those people really liked Prince. So
Yes.
Here's the thing:
Flamboyant as shit.
he
Why
was.
wouldn't they?
He also did a concert
Mm.
the week before he died. And what was really eerie was they said, "Save your prayers for later."
Oh wow.
Yeah, right after the concert, because
Well-
he did go in to the hospital a few days before his concert
Uh-huh.
because he was suffering from the flu. That's what they suspect killed him, was the flu.
Yeah, I heard something about that. That it's like it was a really weird thing that actually took him out, but I don't know a lot of the information behind how he exactly went.
But people do die from the flu. There's another famous guy that died from the flu back in the 90s. His name was James Cameron. What is it? Jim Henson. That died.
James
Flu. I corrected myself halfway through. Hello,
well,
brain.
even still, I mean, James Cameron, as much as a great director he is, I mean, like, I'm sorry, I really don't like Avatar, but that's just because the story.
It's not just Avatar. He's also done a lot of films that are really
Titanic.
good. Well, Titanic is that's like the
Right.
standard right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but he also did other films like The Abyss, True Lies, The Terminator, Piranha 2, which he doesn't talk about anymore.
I wonder why.
And especially Aliens. Not the second one, not the first one, the second one.
Mhm.
And that really did a lot of good. for him.
Everyone's mentioning corn because I
Get in my belly.
well
Also, hey, Shiny, thanks for dropping in. Please don't like throw crap at me from the other end of the house.
Because Piranha 2 is the best.
Yeah, okay. My brother would watch the little snippets of that, and 45 minutes in, we just see a fish fly through a window, breaks the window, and flies away.
I mean, that sounds perfectly normal where I come from. I mean, that's not odd.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in Florida.
We call that a hurricane over here, boy.
Yeah. There's only two weathers in Florida: hot and hurricane.
Yeah, basically.
It's
like
sounds
sunny.
normal.
Yeah,
there's
it
a
does.
little cloud.
But as
Next moment, the locals are hanging on to the palm trees.
We
love it here.
But yeah, I mean, like Prince. I mean, like as much as a great guy he was, like I'm pretty sure he was well respected by his fans, and everyone loved Prince.
And I'm in that same boat as you, actually, Scarfy. I knew of him. I didn't listen to a lot of his music.
Oh my God, what have I done? Corn has become a meme.
But it's sort of the same thing, I hate to say it, as David Bowie. Like, when he went, I knew he was good, but I didn't listen to a lot of his music, so it's like, oh, that sucks he's gone. The one thing I keep telling people, it's like, it's sad that Prince is gone, or it's sad that X-musician is gone, but what really kills me is how the hell are they dead and Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are still kicking? Those dudes are drugs incarnate. How are they still alive?
That is the greatest mystery, isn't it? Like, how do certain people live and how certain people are dead?
Yeah, exactly.
We do have one explanation in one case, which is Rob Halford of Judas Priest. Because he is the metal god, he is in fact immortal.
That's fair.
So So pornography has become a meme. That's all I'm gonna say.
And
excellent.
Betty White. Oh yeah, that's right. Betty White is still alive.
Yeah, she's just sitting there with her drink, just like, yup.
But yeah, Prince. I mean, he was a great guy, and I'm pretty sure Zack. I'm pretty sure you were not the biggest fan of him, or were you? I'm not too sure.
No, like I just said, I never listened to much of his music. I have nothing against his music. I just didn't. It wasn't on my radar. There's a lot of great musicians I honestly haven't listened to. So
of course,
I think the issue is that these people that are dying, they were popular like around the time we were being born.
Yeah.
So we weren't culturally affected. We heard about it after the fact, after they were their heyday.
And where ones like that come from, like David Bowie or Prince or people like, the reason I know Jagger and Richards, why I know the Stones, that's what my folks grew up on. So my dad played for me. And I listened. So whatever our parents loved, that's the only real like flashback or homage to that generation we get. Like, we don't normally go looking for it. Some people do. Most people don't go looking for it.
And you hit the head right there. That's correct. Yeah. Like, I've never heard of the Stones if it wasn't for my folks, or like of Fred or Eric Clapton. I would have never known who those people were, except for the fact that they were playing it on either the records or on CDs.
Yep.
Yes, my parents had records at one point, and when I was a kid.
Right, of course.
By the way, we got off topic a lot. Cruz.
We did it, but we went through music.
Cruz, what's next?
Well, now in music, it's not even. Corn has become a whole new thing.
What?
It's look at the chat.
Corn.
It's blowing up with corn.
Corn performing live tonight with Rihanna.
The children of the
Corn's reunion tour. Oh God. Anyway.
Corn, yes.
Great band.
That was a band that like disappeared really fast. Are they still around?
Corn?
I'm pretty sure they are. Oh yeah, they're still around. I'm pretty sure they are.
I remember that was big in middle school.
Yo, yeah. When Rebel Metal was like all the thing. So.
Cruz, we're getting off topic. We need to go back to our. Yeah.
All right. Next, we have a interesting band named Tremonti. Dust. So this is a heavy metal band, Tremonti. They'll be releasing their third studio album, Dust, April 29th. Title track has been released, and it's sort of a slow tempo. Slow tempo ballad appearing to draw influence from other modern heavy metal bands such as Avenged Sevenfold, Volt, Death Punch, and other modern metal bands. This one, it sounds pretty promising to contribute to the recent resurgence of heavy metal.
Uh-huh.
That a lot of metal acts are coming back, and a lot of new ones are coming.
What do you think that is? Why do you think that metal has gotten so big all of a sudden, like, or back to being big? Because metal was big for a while, like especially 80s hair metal, and the 90s.
Yeah.
It kind of wavered and stuck around, and then you got your usual little niche networks of metalheads and everything, and then it feels like within the 2010 era, it's becoming a lot bigger. I'm seeing a lot more people that metal is the thing, like.
Yeah. I think a lot more of there have been quite a few bands that have old bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Slayer. They come back and they have like a new album, so it's like that's their way of introducing themselves to the new generation. Like you said, you wouldn't have heard about them without their parents. Well, now they have new stuff. They're still around.
Yeah.
And so in Metal Hammer, I read about this. It's sort of that idea sort of leads people to explore the band's roots, and get into other bands. So I think that's what's been happening, because a lot of new albums have been coming out recently.
Yeah, of course. I've never heard of Tremonti. It sounds interesting. Like it's kind of like it draws influence like from heavy metal bands, like what you said. It's kind of like baby metal, drawing influence like from Dragon Force in a way.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Tremonti, are they American?
Yeah,
I missed that.
I believe so, because obviously they sing in English, so that's one indicator. It's not always, but
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, the best
think they're-
American folk music band I've ever heard was actually from Iceland. So, which was weird. They did great American style folk music and folk traditions, and it's like, they started talking, and you didn't hear an accent when they sang. Sort of like how the British rock bands all sounded American, but then when they taught, it's like, you are obviously, of Norse descent.
It's shiny. Usually in the middle bands, singer instruments are great. The singer has an amazing balls voice. That's Johan Egg for you.
Yeah, really.
Amarth.
Nice.
And yeah, Judas Priest, man, that's the shit. All right, so now more metal. What else did you expect? Six, another legend, and this is another guy coming back. 6 a.m. Prayers for the Damned, Volume 1. By the way, this is 6 a.m. as in Nikki Sixx.
Okay.
And after his hugely successful career with the legendary glam metal band Mötley Crüe, Nikki Sixx has continued to produce music with his side project, now his main band, 6 a.m. They were formed in 2007. That was before Mötley Crüe's final tour and then being disbanded.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is also being released April 29th, and the single Rise is currently available.
Okay. So interesting. So has Nikki Sixx been doing this a lot? Like, has he just been going around like on his own doing music outside of like? 'Cause I know he's still big and performing, but I didn't know like he was still like writing and stuff.
I believe he was went solo a little bit, and then I know he was doing a radio gig, and yes, now he's continuing to get back with his side project band, and they're still going.
Fair enough.
What just happened?
What?
This?
Fair enough.
Of course, it's an older band. No one's up before 6 a.m.
But what if they were up the night before and it just happened to be 6 a.m.?
There you go.
I'm blown.
I was gonna say, it's sort of like con life. It's like no one is up at 6 a.m. They are still up at 6 a.m.
That's right. Like that night at MFF where we were up way past like 4:30, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun night.
Yeah.
You had an audience too.
I know, it was fun. Everybody loves some nickel Zack, apparently.
I wasn't going to mention that, but
What?
okay. There's a
Nickel
story.
Zack.
There's a story.
Mhm.
I was down there. I had been wandering the con like 2 a.m. like in my pajamas, and I noticed that Zack had I think like 12 people listening to him play. And at one point, I think Zack said, "Well, what do you say?"
They were playing. It's like, oh, we want this song. I don't know it. Oh, I want this song because I mean I know a lot of songs, but it's mostly older music or stuff I play with Shiny. I don't play bars much or anything. It's like, do you guys want a song you all sing along? Yes. Are you really sure? Yes. Cool. And so I started playing fucking "This Is How You Remind Me" by Nickelback, and they all sang the fuck along.
Yeah, I love the line you said, which was, "You all know the lyrics of this song. You wish you didn't, but you do."
Right.
And I recorded it.
You did. And
Well,
it was
that's kind of like the Pokemon theme song. It doesn't matter if you haven't seen the show or not.
true.
Well, actually, it does. But you all know the song and you will sing it no matter what.
All right, chat. It's up to you. I want you to together collectively put all the lyrics to the Pokemon theme song and add corn into different parts of it. It's your job now.
Wait, what?
I have
to do in the chat?
Speaking of this, I have seen before in comment sections some these all different people did the whole Team Rocket banter to a T.
Oh my God, that is
glorious.
Wait. You mean the motto or?
Yeah, their intro.
Oh, to protect the world from devastation.
Yes.
Yeah.
The power has gone to my head.
Look, what have I done? Why is corn?
Oh my God! Look
Gotta
at the
corn them all. Oh my God, corn.
What have I
corn.
done, Zack? What have I done?
This is wonderful.
You've released the children of the corn.
Release the cornkin.
Oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm just reading this.
Naka's done. Naka is just done.
Never before have I seen a meme just explode this quickly.
This chat is Scarfy Cornley. Nice.
There it goes.
It's only a matter of time.
Our corners, are doing a brilliant job of corn.
Zack.
If you do another episode?
Yeah.
Quick while they're distracted.
What?
It's your turn.
Oh. Oh, that's right. You ran out of things. I was sitting here enjoying my corn, man. Okay, well.
Now I want corn, damn it.
Well, you can grab yourself some corn because I have nothing important to say. I'm just going to babble about video games.
Did you just say I have nothing corn to say?
I have nothing important to say.
And corn.
Oh my God.
All right, that pun is starting to hurt me, but you know what? I'm glad the chat's saying good. Anyway, so yeah, time for video games with your favorite, alcoholic gamer, and by favorite I mean hopefully only, because there shouldn't be more than like a handful of us. We're terrible people. Anyway, so first up on video games, I want to start with a bit of a bang of a really cool game coming out that I personally just thought looked amazing called Alienation. Let's see. So basically, in this game, you're going out and hunting down aliens. By aliens, I of course mean the spacey, wacy kind of aliens, not the we're going to build a wall kind of aliens. Housemarque OY is releasing a new arcade-style game, third-person sort of bullet hell shooter game called Alienation. For anyone who grew up on the old arcade games like Rambo or TNK, or just are a fan of the more modern versions of this game like Helldivers, for anyone who's played that, then this game may be pretty familiar to you. The story goes that the world we know it has been mostly taken over by aliens, sort of how XCOM has been doing things. The race of aliens is known as the Xeno, and it's your mission to take back the planet by shooting down as many of the fuckers as you can. Pretty simple concept. Lots of weapon upgrades, lots of customization, lots of class features, and it all makes the game really high energy, intuitive, and easy to pick up, and just plain enjoyable. Personally, these sort of games I kind of miss. Like back in the day when you were, like I said, the arcade games, playing these massive, just fight and go, sort of like how, like I said, Rambo was, in a very different sense, Gauntlet Legends was. What was that one that you scrolled down at the bottom of the screen? You were an airship and you like picked up power-ups and just spam fired fucking everything in front of you. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Did any of you play that in arcades?
I forgot that one. Like,
I've-
wait. I think I know what you're. Wait,
I
is
think
you
a
collect
game
power ups?
like
You
that.
said.
Yeah. Like you shoot the power-ups and you get it.
The only
I
thing
played
I
a game
only-
like that.
the
the
Yeah.
only
only
game I
game-
can think
Chaos
of is like
Field?
Space Invaders or something. But that was on the N64.
Do
But
I,
like,
the only game that has something even remotely similar to that was Crash Bandicoot 3.
Right.
That was not an arcade game though.
No. But I mean, basically, you're fighting massive waves of enemies on your own, sort of like even Metal Slug, just with a different point of view. But these games, I just sort of miss them. It's a simple concept. It's gorgeous graphics, a lot of lights, explosions, pretty colors, things that keep you mentally preoccupied. You're still playing through. You're having fun, and honestly, it's just sort of a feel-good, interesting mass fighting game that isn't just the gore for gore's sake sort of fighting games you get nowadays. And it's kind of cathartic, which is kind of disturbing and might have a social connotation to America, but I digress. The game you choose from different exosuits, guns, explosives, gears, and you have 3 classes. There's a biospecialist who's a support and healing class with a really strong area of effect damage skills. The tank, who's a tank, it's pretty simple, deals the most damage, but he also can create a shield for his whole team and use splash damage attacks and blast attacks to take down and push back groups of enemies. And lastly, there's Saboteur, who operates as stealth, ninja-like character, concentrated attacks, extra melee, can turn visible, and can even call in an airstrike. So if this game sounds cool to you guys, it's basically a lot of teamwork, a lot of not as much precision as XCOM, just a lot more go have fun. There's a little bit of strategy, but it's something everyone can jump on. There is online multiplayer, and it comes out for the PS4 on April 26th.
so much corn.
If
Yes,
I called it Corn Nation, you fuckers would be interested.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Someone just tweeted, "Thank you, Scarfy Cornley."
Oh, God.
Hashtag. As a
No,
Perfect.
I'm retweeting that.
Well, you're a meme now, Scarfy. Have fun.
Congratulations.
Here we go.
I'm retweeting that right now.
Goofy.
And I will put that in the chat too. So
I have become.
people in the chat. This is Aaron speaking. Please tweet this.
No.
Scarfy
No.
Listen to the nine-tailed kitsune.
The kitsune commands you.
No, please.
And
No,
you'll get
don't.
hugs.
No, please don't. Whatever you do not give them my Twitter handle on the chat. Please don't.
I'm pretty sure it's in our YouTube, so.
By the way, I'm not giving them the Twitter handle. I'm giving them the hashtag.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
Scarfy.
They have to
Cornley.
hunt you down themselves.
If the random human in chat said it, that's the one you need to do.
There you go. There you go. Shift the blame. That's the best. That's the best strategy.
And you know what? I'm now seeing it on Twitter.
There you go.
God damn it.
Here it
You're
comes.
welcome.
Aaron, you're ever so
Everybody
helpful.
tweet some.
But yeah, Alienation. Like, just I'm sorry, we have a show, guys.
This meme is destroying us.
Man, this is the show.
Anyway. No.
So, okay, what are your guys' thoughts on Alienation? Interested? Would you play it? Do you guys have PS4s? So
I have a PS4. I don't know if I would buy it. I mean, like, because I've honestly just don't have the time to play as much video games as I want to, but it looks interesting enough.
God, tell me about it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a throwback to the old, just massive waves of enemies and fighting them off. But what about you guys? I don't know. Like, Aaron, have you remember playing games like this? Or you, Cruz? You guys remember? If you looked at the link, just playing the games like this in like the arcade back in the day, wasting like $5 in quarters.
Oh boy.
When I was
Galaga.
in the arcade,
Yeah.
my
Games.
favorite thing was like skee ball and the racing games where you actually got to sit inside of a cockpit and you could actually just play against other people or the computer, and you can like shift up and down, go across corners. I always was blown away that it was possible to do that, and I was like 6, 7 years old at the time. So for me, it was just amazing to see a technology. for me, 6, 7 years old, this is like early to mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, having a video game console at home was still really expensive.
Yeah.
So if you want to experience video games, you either went to a friend's house or you went to the arcade.
Right.
And it was, I think it was like DreamWorks Warehouse in Rochester, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
They had an amazing arcade. They had all the cool games. They had games dating back from like the 80s till like the brand new ones are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And now, of course, it's an arts and crafts building because those have died. And it's saddens me.
I say that is such a quick turn to the sad. It's just
I know.
All these great games have so many childhood memories, and now it's a fucking arts and crafts.
Yes. Well, the bowling alley I used to go to, which had a massive arcade in there, is now a AutoZone.
Oh.
Yeah, they tore the whole thing down, which makes me sad. But then again, those arcade games and the and bowling alleys, they're still in good shape, especially with furries.
Right.
Like,
of course.
yes, like on Friday, I was at a bowling alley, and people actually brought in their old systems.
Oh,
I
wow.
saw N64, GameCube, and even like SNES, and there are people there playing those games.
And you haven't even played any of those systems.
Well, I was in the live for some of those systems, but
what? You had a PS1 for crying out loud.
Yes,
You weren't
that was
alive.
that was newer than like an NES.
Right.
Okay, well, N64. Wait, did
I was
N64 N64 came out on the same exact time as the PS1 did? I think
It did. I never had one, but I do remember the last time I played that we were playing Worms. Anyone remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, playing that in college with 2 screens, and we had paper on each of them to block the other person's view.
Right.
That game was amazingly funny to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could go on and on about this. I don't want to derail the conversation.
we'll take care of that ourselves. Don't you worry.
This game looks interesting. I'm not too sure if I would buy it though, because I do have a PS4. I just don't have as much time to play it as I do.
Oh, I know that life. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'll move on to the next game.
Okay.
So it seems that the next episode is here. For those of you who were listening to some of our prior shows, IO Interactive and Square Enix are continuing the Hitman series with the release of Episode 2 Sapienza. So once again, if you missed out on the old episode, IO Interactive has basically decided that the new Hitman games are going to come out episodically. So each one is taking place in a new location somewhere on the globe, and it has their own missions, their own characters, their own weapons for Agent 47 to utilize, complete, take advantage of, whatever have you. This one takes us to Italy, where you can fulfill all of your assassin dreams in an exotic locale, and also, stop some bioweapon in the works from being fully created and take out the entirety of humanity as we know it. Because, you guys all have those dreams too, right? Right. So, of course.
Right.
And you'll be able to live out these dreams on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One in April 26th. This was a faster review because there's not really much to say about Hitman. You go around, you murder bitches. I can't help you. So,
pretty much.
Those games, yeah. They just shoot them up, basically. There's like strategy.
Yeah.
Esteban, I don't mean to interrupt, but we skipped Cruz on Alienation.
Yeah.
Oh, please come back. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I was trying to say actually multiple times that the game you were talking about sort of reminds. I have it on the GameCube, and it's like you are in a ship, and like it's one big enemy, but you have to hit their shots back at them with your laser swords.
Okay.
Something like that, which I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. But I don't know the game off the top of my head, so...
I don't know, I don't even remember how I just had it.
Right. Alright, so that said, do you guys have any thoughts about Hitman then?
I looked at the trailer for Hitman, and it's interesting to see how this is actually a series, and the concept looks really nice. Like you're just this person who goes on a murdering spree, like just murdering various people to basically complete missions that will gain the trust of other people who want to do everything. No, Cody. the real Cody Fox. The real phrase is corn is love. Corn
No,
is life.
no,
Don't do
no.
Why?
Oh God, no!
Yeah,
Why?
and,
Why?
and
You just gave the meme cancer.
yep, you just brought it back. And to shout out to Shiny's comparison, yeah, it sort of is Assassin's Creed-ish, but I don't know, with Hitman, it's like, obviously it's more modern, but from what I can tell, the thing about Hitman is there is a story. I just don't know if in these episodes you're hired by the same organization to keep doing all this stuff, or if it's different employers and you're just a private, Hitman contractor. I've never actually been able to figure that out from what little I played of it and what I've seen of it. So,
Right.
chat, if you guys know, please let us know. What about you, Kruz? What do you think of this? So I don't want to accidentally skip over you again.
Yeah. No, well, I'm not that good at Assassin's Creed, mostly because I can't really just scale up the buildings like I've watched people do. I'm like, how do you button? But I love the realistic open world, and I thought like this. I played like different games like this online, and I would love to play this.
Yeah, it's you can't deny that Hitman has built a huge following. Like everybody knows the original games, and nowadays they're kind of dated, but they are evolving with the times between visual effects and everything, but keeping the core gameplay. That's a little Metal Gear Solid-y, a little Assassin's Creed-y. It's a lot of stealth more than anything, but it works. I mean, it works for them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that is important to actually have story and have a little bit of you have to still use a little bit of your imagination. Because when I was growing up, games were they were very crude compared to what you have today.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the realistic games, if you look at any PS1 games like Legends of Dragoon, they're really, really dated now. The graphics just look so because they're trying to do realistic, but they can't really achieve the effect they wanted to back in the 90s. But nowadays, look at Drake's Fortune. I mean, it's amazing how far they've come and what they're capable of doing.
Speaking of PlayStation, you have a PlayStation 1, right?
PlayStation 1, 2, and 3.
You're not getting the 4?
There's no reason to. I don't game as much as I used to.
Oh.
Actually, take that back. I do actually game more than I used to because on Friday nights.
Yeah, I was saying, you're welcome.
Yes, and I love those games. By the way, keep those going.
But
I digress. But no, the games have gotten so much better. The reason why Crash Bandicoot back in the day is because it looked so beautiful. The graphics were amazing, especially for back then when graphics were you really had to use your imagination.
Right.
There were no real graphics. There's all real just blocks.
Well, that was like Atari 2600 era.
Yeah, but even on the Apple II, you were looking at blocks that are attempting to be circles and polygons everywhere.
Pixel people.
Exactly. You had to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Or, of course, does anyone remember getting Doom for free in a Zero box?
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it was called Chex Quest.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
that was cute.
That was cute. It was cute. It was a cute game. You got to beat these little slime things. But those graphics made you use your imagination.
Yes, definitely.
So it's always great to see that when you have a story that looks beautiful, the picture looks great, but there's also some sort of plot line in there. Now, there's another game I want to hit on, but I know we'll be talking about that later, so I'm not going to mention it at all.
All right.
But it's just nice to see when there's an actual plot inside
yes, definitely.
of a game that actually makes sense. And it's wow, I want to turn this game on now, not because it looks good, but because I want to know what happens to the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of game I would be all right, let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, absolutely.
They see me rolling my front
They're
lawn.
speeding.
I know they just think I'm just too wide and corny.
Oh, God.
Oh, gee. I was going to say, right?
Let it die, man!
God
Let it die. I've been
let what
trending
die?
right now.
This is
corn
great.
meme.
I want it.
You
I
know-
want to continue.
Live and let corn.
You know that this Thank You, Scarby Cornley is starting to trend.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I have a column in my tweet deck that shows me this.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Is it? How
Yes,
much?
it's like,
Let's see.
right now, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right now, it's like 11 people that have already done it. So those people in the chat, keep it going.
But yeah. Anyway, what's next on the agenda? Like I looked at Hitman episode 2. It looks interesting enough. I wouldn't play it, but
Yeah, it's not like, honestly, I like the games, I like to play them, but same thing, same excuse I have all the time. I just don't have the time for it. But it is an amazing game, and people keep raving about it to me. So someday I might just have to bite the bullet and go through with it. Next on the list is a game called Avalon Lords, and it's a cool debut that's being made by a group called Animus Interactive. Basically, in Avalon Lords, you're playing a real-time strategy medieval combat game that takes place in, well, Avalon. After centuries of peace, Avalon is split into 3 factions who go to war. The war has been on for 200 years, so I'm pretty sure it's basically a retelling or historical representation of the 200 Years' War. They're battling to gain supremacy and rule of the land of Avalon. You play as the Order of the Dawn, and you must build your army, settlements, manage resources, and overcome all obstacles in your way. The game to me is really reminiscent, if you guys have ever played anything from the Total War series. It's very much like that, but I like it because that's the thing. If you talk about, like, everyone knows Total War, and some of the big RTS gamers know other types of games like Total War, but mostly you hear Total War and that's the first thing you go to. I like that someone is going into this and trying to bring some fresh life into it. They put a lot of work in the graphics. The graphics are excellent. The fights seem incredibly fluid. I can't tell for sure because I don't have a copy of it, but from what I've seen, the fights just look right. They look like they've done them well. The landscapes are beautiful, and most importantly, the customization, creating your armies and settlements, how you place them, everything is very varied. This allows for you to do a whole bunch of different strategies to gain victory in the story mode or in multiplayer games. It's not just best muscle. There's other ways you can just like strategically overcome your opponents. I said before, and I'll restate it now, I've drifted away a lot from RTS games myself ever since the first StarCraft, was I think the last one I ever really played.
Oh, that was a classic.
It is. And granted, there's nothing against RTSs. For people who enjoy and can multitask well and just get that love of basically pseudo-god complexism of I am commanding these vast hordes of humans to go battle and have their personal armies to dominate the land, go for it. I'm honestly not trying to be judgy if that sounds that way, but it is sort of that I have control of the kingdom. It's like that kingly power, that god power. It's like, yeah, I can see how that'd be fun. It's just not my thing because I don't like organizing that much in my games. As Aaron knows, having to deal with my games, I don't fucking plan anything ahead. But it looks like great fun. It's going to be available for the PC on April 28th.
So many tweets. So many tweets.
Scarvy, on the other hand, is busy looking at the tweets.
I think we know the title for this episode already.
Oh, we
do. The corniest episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Zach, I did want to touch on one little thing.
What?
You mentioned like 200 Years' War. Isn't it amazing that back in the day that the wars went on for like hundreds of years, the same conflict? Think about that.
Yeah.
So they grant that. So you're giving a war to your children's.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting a war that the people that started are so long gone that there's probably no one alive on the planet to remember what actually started the conflict that you're still fighting. And we're not talking about recent times. We're talking about like hundreds of years ago. This would go on for.
Yeah.
I looked at. Blows my mind.
I looked at Avalon Lords. My brother played Rome Total War when he was in middle school. It was interesting to see him play, even though he played it on like the worst computer ever imaginable. I mean, this computer was awful. There was like hardly a processor on it at all.
Wow.
I'm talking like Windows XP on a Windows 98 model. I'm not even kidding.
Windows XP is cancer.
Windows XP wasn't bad. Windows
Windows XP was like the best web OS ever.
Millennium was cancer.
Emmy, come back to me after you've used Millennium Edition.
Yeah, we will talk.
Here's the thing. Windows XP was the most successful Windows operating system ever.
Yes.
made.
And
'Cause that was
for
the
good
most
reason.
prolific.
It was.
I mean, for
terrific.
its time, yes, but
Worked
I've
brilliantly.
used it like recently, and I'm just
Oh,
compared
it's
to
super
now.
dated.
That's why I'm just like,
It's dated,
yeah,
but
it's super dated now.
but man, does it work well still.
Let's just wait. It came out when I was a freshman in
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
We weren't using it at work till 2000, like a couple years ago. We were still using Windows XP.
Oh wow.
That's a long ass time.
Because it worked. I mean, it's the thing.
It worked. It was brilliant.
was just
Think
a
about it.
work.
If you want to see
It
what's
did a
really
thing.
old, Windows 98. And just to think, Windows 98 came out 3 years before Windows XP did. And it's a huge difference. It was like it was almost as big as going from 3.1 to 95. That's
course.
another big difference.
Right.
But I have to say, from like XP to Vista, well, Vista sucks. But going from XP to 7 was a quite nice change of pace. I mean,
Yes.
it's very similar. It just looks nice and clean.
Mhm.
Right.
Windows 8 on the hand looks like Picasso.
Windows 10 is better than Windows 8 though, at least.
Yes,
Yes.
it is. I will definitely say that for sure.
At least, I mean, like, probably better than Windows XP. I don't think so, but at least better than Windows 8.
Wait a minute. Cody Fox says Windows 95 was cancerous? Okay, Cody, go back to Windows 3.1 and say that again. No. Windows CE, that was for mobile systems, not desktops.
Windows XP was fantastic. But anyway, we're getting off topic here.
We're getting a little off topic. Sorry.
It's all good.
Avalon. I remember the Windows 98 computer, and like my mom used to have it. But anyway, I'm getting on topic.
I was gonna say, I'd like to reiterate something. We're getting a little off topic, so let me continue going off.
This is not about guys. This show is not about Windows.
Yeah.
I think
Otherwise,
we know that.
we'd be a Windows shopper.
But Windows, if you're looking to sponsor us, I mean, we will ride that gravy train. Just send us your money. We will be there.
But anyway, Avalon Lords. It looks interesting.
Oh,
I probably wouldn't play it though. But
Right.
you know.
What about you guys, Cruz? What do you think of Avalon Lords? If you have thoughts on these sorts of games.
Indeed, I do. Thoughts on this sort of game.
Oh dear. What have I
I
done?
love
Are you talking with the Viking accent? Never mind.
No,
No.
not yet. But this does remind me of that because, a little sidetrack. The new Amon Amarth album is Yom's Vikings, and they are in the same era as the medieval warriors, and
Right.
in some cases even fought with them. And so, I mean, I'd love to get back into this, and I think Scarfy is seeing something.
Zack just posted
I
something
saw
on
that.
Twitter, and I'm like laughing my ass off. I gotta show this. I gotta show this on Twitter because this is hilarious. This is like the best night of my life ever.
Oh, I just retweeted it too. You guys are wondering what we're laughing about right now?
I'm gonna post it on here.
You're gonna post it? Okay.
God.
Yeah.
You poor-
So
No, I
How
can't.
did we get to corn? I'm just curious. What?
I can't post it.
Oh, so that's right. This is okay. I'll do it for you. You guys discuss the not corn. You guys discuss Avalon, and I will.
There is nothing but corn.
There's no Zool. There's only
What?
corn.
What? There are fields, Neo. Endless.
Oh
fields
my
of
God.
corn.
All that glitters is never corn.
Oh God.
And,
Okay, that was too
shooting
corny for me. Okay.
guys, I have no alcohol in the house. Please.
Be happy. Dusk is not on here.
Oh yeah, that's
God.
true.
He's
Oh.
the pun master.
He's great.
I know a
He
person.
is the pun master.
Oh, do you want to know something funny? I know a person who can challenge Dusk Panda
Ooh.
Me too.
in
Oh.
puns. Chugga Conroy.
Yeah, I can see that. I was gonna. Go ahead, go ahead.
If you listen to him, he comes up with the best puns ever, some of the worst puns ever, some of the best puns ever, and just playing around, just a nice guy. But even still, he's not a furry, so I don't think they would meet.
I was gonna say, I don't know I was gonna say, I don't know if the phrase "best pun ever" is actually a thing. I think that's an oxymoron. Pretty sure that's an oxymoron.
Oh, there's a second hashtag twit now. Oh
no.
Jesus, there is.
What is it?
It's evolving. It's learning.
Yes, the C and the K
It's
are being
learning.
interchanged now.
Oh dear.
Oh my fucking god.
Well,
You told me to keep it PG.
I said
you
PG-13.
Okay.
it's wait, no. Don't you blame this on Aaron? Scarfy's the one who said Cornhub. That's how this all started.
Yes, I
This is
said
your own damn fault.
Cornhub because I didn't want to say that other word, and this all started.
What word? Like
Gee, I
porn?
wonder.
You can't talk about
we are all-
porn.
Porn has become vastly inferior to corn, it seems.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. People in the chat, what would you rather look at, corn or
Or-
the other thing?
Or would you
Yeah.
rather look at porn of corn?
Wait, what?
Porn.
Porn of corn.
I think that's what you were suggesting in the beginning.
Yeah, of course.
With Cornhub.
I
Yeah.
would never have suspected that. What would that be? Like the pollen gets moved from point A to point B?
Bad corn.
So apparently,
Whoa.
apparently, corn has become an internet meme for our show. We are keeping this. We are trademarking this. It is ours for the taking, and we are going to enjoy every.
Man, Nebraska's gonna be pissed.
Why?
Isn't there a lot of corn in Nebraska? Am I thinking wrong?
Yeah, no, there's
Nebraska?
there's a crap load of corn in Nebraska. I know
Yeah.
this because my brother drove through that, my dad, and he says it's just endless fields
Corn.
of corn.
Forever.
Forever.
Corn as
And
far as
they
the eye
said
can
they
see.
drove 1,000 miles and all they saw was corn.
And somewhere in there are people who live
Cruz.
there.
That's why they're called
Yeah,
the
Cruz,
Cruz,
Huskers.
what do you think about Cruz? What do you think about the game?
Avalon Lodge.
Yeah. As I said, I think I haven't gotten to play much of this the
RTSs?
RTS strategy
Yeah.
games. Yeah. But I've done that before. I guess I'm more into the direct bet, but the trailer to this really sold it to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. I like what they're doing with it.
Oh, me too. What do you think, Aaron? Unless you already said your thoughts on it.
I already said.
Okay.
What do you think, Aaron? Corn! Sorry.
Corn!
All right.
I think
Let's
corn.
let's move on to the next.
Sure,
one.
sure. We were talking earlier about old style games, and going back to that, I guess it's not really old style. I'm thinking more of like early 2000s, which for some of you people out there, that might be old school for you. I don't know. You keep getting younger and younger. It's creepy. Anyway, but I'm digging this new hack and slash game that's coming out with a new twist on it from Bandai Namco. The game is called Lost Reavers, and it's a game. Honestly, it's a game I would have loved to have played with my friends back in the day. It's really this badass take no prisoner style game that you used to love when you're younger. Sort of like the biggest one that I would amount it to for me, because I played a lot of this, was Devil May Cry. So those sort of like shoot and slash style games where you just like super combo fuckers all day and just like destroy them. I'm using fuckers all day. I need to stop swearing. But basically just hack and slash, shoot down waves of enemies. You're just this really tough character. But now it's you and 3 other characters. And you can do multiplayer of these old hack and slash style games that were, to me, so much fun. Sort of like Ninja Gaiden. There's a big one that people know. Like the Ninja Gaiden games and stuff like that. It's basically a multiplayer version of that. The 4 protagonists are Sayuri, Dwayne, Victoria, and Shadowstalker, who need to work together in order to raid through multi-room dungeons that they find themselves in. It requires you to move giant treasures known as relics from one point to another. That's basically the mission of most of the levels. So it's kind of annoying because when you pick up the relic, that character can't fight. So the other 3 need to defend and basically make sure they get wherever they need to safe.
So it's basically like Oddball in Halo.
Probably. I mean, like, I couldn't get why exactly, like, why they were there looking for these relics. So story-wise, it may fall short a bit. I will admit, I have no idea. But gameplay-wise, it seems like a really cool idea. I admit, when I had to do those fetch carry quests in games like this, it annoyed me that I couldn't fight during that time. That pisses me off. But at the same time, I didn't have human players backing me up. So that could be like if I had my friends back in the day in high school, that would have been, we would have loved that. Would have been great. So that's really my thoughts on it. There's a lot of puzzle solving because you have to go from one point to the other with the relics. Big emphasis on teamwork and collaboration. Huge mix of high quality art, melee, gunsling attacks. One thing that's really cool about this that not a lot of games like this do, you can change from third person to first person while shooting to make sure you can do those accurate shots. Yeah.
I love it when games can do that.
Yeah, it's
that is really cool.
One game I knew did that, and it was amazing.
Which one?
And I'll save it for later.
Okay. Well, I'm almost done. Basically, what I want to tell you guys is the fact that it puts in, the team member vulnerability. It annoys me, but for those of you who could see it the way it's intended, it makes for a great challenge. And if this game sounds like fun for you, it's coming on April 28th. And here's what surprised me: it's coming out April 28th for the Wii U. So I don't normally see games like this for the Wii fucking anything. So I thought this was really cool.
That's because the Wii U is just the hardware of the Wii, just a little bit of a bump up plus HD and the insane controller.
Yeah. It's fine now. He fixed it. Your mic was doing a thing.
No. Aaron, I love you, but I'm a huge Nintendo fan, and all I can say is, you have no idea. You have no idea what you're missing.
It's better than the you know what the Wii was, right?
Yes.
It was basically a GameCube repackaged.
Yeah, it was, exactly. It just had a different controller. That's all they really changed.
But it had more features, a different operating system, too.
Mm-hmm. Whatever helps you sleep at night, man.
He's talking about the hardware.
Dude, when I had the Wii, you could buy old classic games on a system, and I'm pretty sure other games did this too, but Nintendo for its time didn't have that. So
backwards compatibility? No, that's actually one of the things I used to hate about it.
Backwards compatibility was just amazingly good. Like the PS2 and the PS3.
Yes.
When the PS2, I had the PS2, and the best part about the PS2 was not only can you play PlayStation 1 games, but guess what? You could play DVDs on it, and that was amazing.
Yes. Same thing with PS3. Yes. Believe it or not, when the PS3 came out, it was the cheapest Blu-ray player you could actually buy.
Really?
And if you bought yes, it was.
I have a PS4, and it is a Blu-ray player.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Back then, Blu-ray players were $1,000 a pop.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the PlayStation 3 was about $600. So you can either buy a Blu-ray player for $1,000, or for a few $100 cheaper, you get a Blu-ray player that has a built-in game system. And speaking of backwards compatibility, the original launches of the PS3 had the Emotion Engine actual chip right on the board, which made it backwards compatible with PS2 games, which also meant it was backwards compatible with PS1 games. You do not see compatibility like that.
No, you don't.
Very often.
No, you don't.
You see it on PC because PC doesn't really have any new. It has new operating systems, so it can always just play the old shit.
Speaking of PS4, I'm very, very I'm very, very hoping that this year Sony will release backwards compatibility for its PS4s, because I just got it for Christmas, and if they're making a PS4.5, and I know they are, that has backward compatibility and not put it on the PS4, I'm going to be really pissed off. That's all I can say.
That's understandable.
Now, speaking of backwards compatibility, PS3, they did stop doing the Emotion Engine. When it did that, it became software.
Well,
let me tell you, it went slow.
The new Sony system is gonna have 4K resolution, which I don't really give a shit about. I'm not sure if I should be that interested.
It's not gonna be that hard. I know FiberKitty is a 4K monitor.
Yes.
And I mean,
so he's like 4K, very pro 4K.
Well, it's 4K ready.
Yeah, it can use it.
It doesn't have a lot of 4K content yet. Like the only thing we've seen on 4K, besides Taylor Smith, is the Anthrocon video that was done 4K.
Oh yeah.
And that was super clear.
Yes, it was gorgeous.
I mean, the thing is that you don't notice a difference unless you're like right up to the monitor. Like 1080p
FiberKitty
from a distance.
FiberKitty has it made.
He works fucking hard. I was gonna say
he works his ass off.
Oh my god!
No, I'm pretty sure he does work hard, but man, I really do feel like he's the luckiest person in the fucking world right now.
But I wouldn't call it luck. He's worked for it.
He's worked his butt off. He
Well,
works
yeah,
his butt off.
but I'm pretty sure anyone would want to be him.
Have
right
you
now.
seen some of the code that he does?
No.
It's like basically, I know very few people in the fandom that can do shit that he can do.
Yeah. But yeah, I will say he's definitely in a good spot. But man, he fucking like he's also one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
He is. He's
fucking
yeah.
works so hard.
He
Fiber
is
Kitty is
super
so
nice.
awesome. He's so cool.
He's a very, very cool cat.
Excellent. That's a great way to put it.
It is a great way to put it. He's a cat, and he's leaving the country soon. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a very cool, corny cat.
I wouldn't say.
Hey,
corny,
you've seen the
but you
chat.
make
Yes,
him
I am.
blush. Wait,
They're
what's
coming
going
up.
on in the chat right now?
Biggest little fur
they're
corn.
Oh my God!
Corn
Shutterwolf just
fusion.
said.
Shutterwolf
Shutterwolf just said corn gurus, and I am tweeting that
Biggest
to
little
Renegade
for-
Brew. I'm tweeting
biggest-
that to Renegade Brew right now.
Biggest little fur corn.
Yep.
Oh dear God!
Biggest little
Corn
fur
on the cob. This thing is trending.
Fur the corn.
Anthro
After New
New
Cornland.
Oh my god.
BLFK, biggest little fur corn.
Excellent.
Never stop now. Oh God, yes.
But yeah,
oh,
Lost.
Aerofox?
But yeah,
Oh God.
yeah.
What's up, Scarfy?
Yeah, but Lost Reavers. Like I looked at the game. I thought it. I think it's free. They said it was free. It seemed free, but I'm not too
Free?
sure. Well, I was researching it like on Wikipedia, and it actually said it was a free-to-play multiplayer game. So.
Free to play
That-
means you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription.
Okay, so you have to pay for
Oh.
up front, basically.
You still have to pay for the game, but free to play usually means no monthly subscription. I'm gonna look it up
like
right now. but-
Minecraft is like that.
Yeah.
where
Okay.
You pay
Oh,
up
yeah.
front, and then you can use it for life.
I remember when Minecraft used to be like what $7.99, and now it's like
Well-
what $24.99.
Well, that's
Oh.
because that was when we first getting started. They keep
Yeah.
raising the price, but once you pay for it, like I paid $10 for it back in 2010, and actually I just turned my server back on after I don't know when it got shut off. But I have my own server at home for Minecraft, and it dates back to 2012.
Wow.
And I just look around, and go, "Holy crap! I built all this stuff."
Hmm.
And I'm letting another guy with a friend play on it now, and he's doing some amazing stuff that I didn't know was possible in the game.
Did you
So-
got? Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought first.
But yeah, that is a game that has stood the test of time, which is surprising.
One thing that I actually heard from Shiny that was interesting to me is apparently there's some fans who made a playable server for World of Warcraft. And World of Warcraft has been
I heard about this.
Yeah, they're constantly changing their shit and doing different things. And after a while, it became a game that people didn't really like playing. But these fans built a server that was like how the original World of Warcraft was, that everyone loved playing. So they started getting this huge flow of people who wanted to play on their server. And they didn't charge people. They just kept it up. And Blizzard, being weird, because they are very fucking weird, instead of like buying out the guy's server or anything, like was suing them, was forcing him to shut it down. And the people who said,
yeah, I heard about this.
yeah, they're like, dude, don't know. Like, we'll give this to you. You can take our server. Just let it keep running. And they're like, no, we want it gone. Like, you're destroying our image of it. It's like, go fuck yourselves. You're pissing off everybody.
Yes.
To be honest though, Blizzard and Activision, now that Blizzard owns Activision, Blizzard could make their own console if they really wanted to.
But that doesn't matter for this. They're still not responding to what fans want. And no matter how big you are, if you piss enough people off and you lose your value, you'll be gone.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I understand that Blizzard pisses a lot of people off. Well, guess what? So does EA. So they don't listen to it.
What was the line? Either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
They're
I'm beginning
becoming
to
the
wonder
villain.
if that's EAR. Like, I mean, there's a time when like these game companies were like really good and cool, and they stopped doing shit.
Yep. Pretty much,
Good
yeah.
job.
Why do
Good
I
job,
hear a
Twitter.
slow clap? Why do I hear a slow
Because
clap?
because Shutter just broke Twitter
I
right
know.
now.
Yeah, I saw that. Shutter has been doing his duties. If Shutter's
Yeah.
in the chat, thank you. You
Shutter,
have
do you
made
wanna-
me proud?
Do you want a position as our PR person? I mean, you won't get paid and there's no benefits, but do you want a position as our PR person?
But even still, Lost Reavers, I mean, like, I'm sure, like, what do you think, Cruz?
Cruz, did we lose
Cruz?
you? We might have lost a Cruz.
Cruz.
I think he had to step away, so we'll move to you right now, Aaron. because he's still on. Do you have any thoughts on the game Lost Reavers? Like, did you play any of those hack and slash shooter style games?
The hack and slash ones. I mean, closest thing is like Halo, but that one is more of a
it's more of an
strategy
FPS,
to it.
yeah.
Yeah, that one's more of a strategy too, especially if you have multiplayers.
Yes,
where you really have to think about it's not about like the computer, you have to actually think about the person on the other side.
Right.
Like how to beat them.
Right.
Because if it's a computer, you can figure out the algorithm and beat it.
Right, that's true.
If it's poorly designed, you can beat the algorithm. But if it's a person, that's when it becomes interesting.
Yep.
By the way, hi Shujja, we love you.
Hey.
He's on the chat.
Miss you, little bro.
We love you, Shujja. Cruz?
You're back.
What happened?
Computer died.
Oh, your computer died.
Oh.
Well, apparently, it was plugged in, but apparently.
Oh.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
it
stuff
happens.
happens.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move to the next game, mostly so we have time to talk about what we want to talk about later. So the last game, which I don't know if we're gonna have much to talk about with this. I just want to pimp it out there for people who have invested. Huh? Go ahead. Cruz?
Oh boy.
Cruz, you might be cutting in and out. I'm not sure, but I'm going to continue with this for a bit.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Well, we do that, but there's unfortunately not much I can do for his internet if that's the problem. But the last game I want to talk about is mostly just a shout out to people who are, doing the Oculus Rift and getting into the VR thing.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep, this game is actually, weirdly enough, for the pool aficionados out there. If they're looking for a way to show up others in the time-honored bar game, the game Pool Nation might be up your alley. Pool Nation requires a VR headset, I'll say that right now, but it's both single-player versus AI computers or multiplayer capabilities are available on it. So you can school people you've never even met from the other side of the world in the almost world-known game of pool. I know this may not be a big thing for a lot of you out there who are, proper gamers who are looking for the next big thing in gaming, but looking at it from the standpoint of what virtual reality was always promised to us in like movies, TV shows, and etc., this game is really good on making do with sort of things we were promised when we were younger. Because if you think about like this, the idea that you can do something so mundane as play pool, or you can play darts and a couple other bar games in this thing with anyone in the world at any time and never actually even like leave your house. It's actually you're just there with them in this new world, just doing the random stuff you do daily. That's sort of what we thought virtual reality was going to be about. Now it's going to be more into gaming where it's, this bigger, more complex world, which there's nothing wrong with. That's great. But it's just kind of cool that see that some games like, hey, those movies you watch back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, blah, 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 we're making it happen. This is you getting to interact with people on a social scale.
That is so cool that that's happening. I remember in the 90s going to the Boston Museum of Science. Go there. It's really fun. And it was, they actually had a VR demo. They actually had this VR demo where you would be strapped into this machine, put a camera over you, a TV over you. You can actually move around in a 3D world. Now, remember, this is 90s. So this was all blocks and stuff. So it looked completely unrealistic. But the idea was you could actually move around and interact. Nowadays, things are so advanced that I remember at Thanksgiving, one of my cousins showed me their VR device, and it was a 3D real world. Like, holy crap, it's a real world you can interact with. Mm-hmm. And I honestly thought for a split second, I'm looking at reality.
Nice.
It's come far, but the thing you mentioned where it's like where before we would be using it for like doing business things and now we're doing gaming, I think it's because the internet isn't there yet in terms of speed. Where we have lag. If there's too much lag, forget it. It's not going to work properly.
Right.
Like, there's an issue like with Skype 10 years ago, but
I don't mean to.
Lag is something I have a lot of.
Yeah.
Hi, Cruz.
What's up, Scarfy? What's up?
I was just gonna interrupt. Like, Cruz, like, what happened? What was going on?
I don't know. Some bullshit.
It's probably just a ping or bandwidth issue, but you're coming in clear now.
God, look at all the corn.
Look at all this corn.
That's the first time a furry has said that instead of porn.
They all come from.
Anyway, but to let you guys know, for Pool Nation, it comes out for PC on April 28th. I'm just trying to wrap up my end because I know there's a lot we want to talk about.
I was gonna say about this trailer, like I watched the trailer for the game, and like I thought it was like this is what I would do in this. Was just stack the bottles, smash them around.
Oh yeah. I forgot to
Just dig
mention. In one of the features is you can sort of put like beer bottles and just like shoot the pool balls in. So you can fucking wreck a bar too if that's what you want to use this for.
Hey,
go for
why
it.
Not?
Yeah,
but it's all fake anyway. So
yeah,
might
exactly.
as well have fun. You can live out your wildest fantasies doing that, which you couldn't do in real life. But
well, you could. You just wind up arrested.
But you would get in deep shit.
Unless it was Groundhog Day, then you wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, it's true. There is that. God, I wonder how many people get that reference in the chat.
To the left, to the left.
Do you know that movie was supposed to take over a period of time of 1,000 years?
Really?
In the original script, Bill Murray was stuck in that day for 1,000 years.
That's
It's supposed to be much darker, the script, where instead of starting at the beginning, it starts in the middle, and he's like going crazy. He goes, I think it's been at least 500 years. I can't be sure now.
Yeah,
like the same day over and over.
It sounds like Groundhog Day. But
that's exactly what we're talking about.
It sounds like. Oh.
Wait, what was going on?
We were talking about that movie.
Because about like repetitions. Okay, this is what happened. We're talking about pool, about breaking a bar, because we could do that in virtual reality. And then I mentioned it's like Groundhog Day. There's no consequences. And then we talked about the original script of Groundhog Day, where it was supposed to be like 1,000 years. It's called Connections.
Yep.
Which was a great TV show on Science Channel back in the day.
By the way, I just wanna like
cornhole.
What?
I have a question for you, Aaron. What is your opinion on Oculus Rift? Because a lot of people
It's a good concept. The resolution isn't high enough yet. I think it'll be great. I think
would you say it's worth $600? Because I don't think it's worth.
The problem is that all this is just a screen. You need the actual hardware to put images on said screen.
Not only that, but you need like a really goddamn badass computer for it.
Well, it's not just a computer you need. If you're going to start using over the internet, they need one hell of a connection to keep the data up properly. Especially if you want to do stuff like in real time. Because I know there's these special cameras that Google uses for their mapping system. It's basically a parabolic mirror. And what it does is it takes a 360-degree picture.
I've seen one of those cars drive by. I was riding my bike and I was like,
uh-oh. We lost you a bike.
Google.
There you go.
Wait, what happened?
He's fine. He's just setting.
He saw a Google car, which I envy.
Yeah. One of the Google Maps cars, and I'm like, and then I saw Google Maps, and I'm like, I had the camera tag.
Right. But basically, you'd feed one of those into an Oculus Rift. That way, you can move around in the environment.
Right. Yeah.
Including straight up and straight down, because that's what they're designed for.
They have museums that do that.
That's right.
I think Oculus Rift would be really great if the price was cut in half, in my honest opinion. But I know that Oculus Rift has to sell.
It's like
it's not there yet, but it really does need to go down.
When new technologies come out, they're really high because of all of R&D. But look at the PlayStation 3 at first. I mean, that was like $600, and no one ever bought it because it was advertised poorly at E3, and then it became better when it had a price drop as well. Well, there was this song, "How to Kill Your Brand." Yes, but the thing is that when I work in pharmaceuticals, and I work on the research side, and what you see is that there are a ton of products out there that never make it to market because they all screw up.
Right.
So what you do is you see everything that goes on. There's a reason why the price is so damn high. It's because you have all these people, armies of people working on these things. I'm just one little cog in the wheel, but I can tell you there's probably hundreds of people out there that are working. And some of these studies have 500,000 people on them just to make sure their product is not going to kill anybody.
Yeah, sure.
Because, certain things like the Oculus Rift, theoretically, you could get killed by it.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
There's many different ways that could happen. but I digress. The thing is that it takes so much R&D. Like I remember PlayStation 2, they sunk like $4 billion in the 90s on just that console. So that's the reason why it's so damn expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So the prices will come down, but it's just so damn
$600 for 32 gigs of, like how many gigs was the PlayStation 3 at first? I thought it was like 32. I'm like, why would I buy a PlayStation?
That's just a standard hard drive you're talking about, right?
Yeah, why would I buy that when I can buy a PC at that price?
But here's the thing. You can always upgrade the hard drive in the PS3. They even tell you in the instruction manual how to do it.
Yep.
So you can always do that. The difference between the different models was one had the Wi-Fi card and the Emotion Engine built in and more USB ports and memory card readers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That was the real difference between them. But you could always pop out the hard drive, pop in a new one. And by the way, the PlayStation 2 actually did have a hard drive slot. And you could plug it in.
Of course.
Fair enough.
Which is cool,
but most people never did that. But actually took a standard desktop-sized IDE hard drive.
Yeah.
Sounds. But anyway, Pool Nation. I don't think I'll get it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Pool, but even still, it's just.
Also, it's not worth getting if you don't have the VR helmet. That's the whole point of it.
I don't think I even have the VR, and nor do I have a PC that's strong enough.
I hope you know if you have a VR device in your house or not. If you, I'm not sure if I have my virtual reality helmet.
It might be in my other mansion.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have a virtual reality helmet, and I don't think I'll ever buy one because it's just not what I need right now.
I think okay. Have any of you guys seen Net Force?
No.
Oh God. All right. So there actually was a VR helmet. The whole movie was about how intricate, how invasive the internet was, like how interwoven it was into our daily lives, and VR helmets were everywhere.
Yeah.
I think eventually that'll happen, like when meetings internationally where you want to see individuals in front of you, that will become a thing. Yes, Scarfy. If you read the chat, you just feel nothing but corn. But
no. Like, I read a tweet from
Embrace the corn.
From Rayo Gray Fox, and he said, I forgot what the tweet was. Hold on, I'm looking at it. He says, I heard pornography is a bad thing too.
Oh dear.
Cornography.
See, you guys and your little corns.
Yup.
My God.
Anyway,
your little corns.
I love you guys, but at this rate, we're going to be here until like midnight. So,
it is 8:56, and I do have to be up about 4 a.m.
Yeah, I got to be. Yeah. Oh wow, geez, you beat me. I'm still like 2 hours after you. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, we better move on.
Yep.
Well, you're on the West Coast.
Well, I want to make it convenient for you.
Thank you. I mean, we can't actually argue with that. Thank you.
Oh, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Stutter! What? Did you really tweet that?
Okay.
Really?
All right, let's move
this
on.
Isn't going to be like the all-nighter episode.
It
now,
can't
Mike.
be.
Oh,
I
no.
have to be up at a stupid hour.
now,
today.
Mike.
All right, let's
So
move
do
on.
I.
Shudder.
But so do I.
can't even
But fuck
repeat
it.
that on this channel, so.
Right. Children, Scarfy, go.
All right.
Rounding up.
All right, let's move on to movies. Our first movie coming soon to theaters is a film. Well, apparently this is what happens when you have a film that comes from Key and Peele. Keanu is a 2016 American action comedy film directed by Peter Antencio and written by Jordan Peele and Alex Rubens. The film stars Keegan-Michael Key, Peele, Method Man, Nia Long, and Will Forte. Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele, aka the hugely popular comedy duo Key and Peele, star in their first ever feature film as Clarence and Rel, two cousins who live in the city but are far from streetwise. Rel has broken up with his girlfriend, and who comes to life? A kitten named Keanu. Who comes into his life, rather. Which to some audiences would have them going, whoa. But it's not a film that I think is meant to be taken seriously. Unfortunately, his kitty cat is catnapped, and the hopelessly straight-laced pair must impersonate ruthless killers in order to infiltrate a street gang and retrieve the purloined feline. But the incredibly adorable kitten can become so coveted that the fight over his custody creates a gang war, forcing our two unwitting heroes to take the law into their own hands. I must confess, this is my first time seeing the trailer, and upon seeing it, it's just as what you think it would be. A buddy comedy film. Nothing more, nothing less. But hey, at least Keanu Reeves might be paid in royalties for not only his name, but impersonating scenes from The Matrix. Yeah, those slow-motion scenes scream Matrix. Don't tell me they don't. But in all seriousness, the film does look funny enough to tie you over, and if you're a fan of Comedy Central in general, that's a good sign. And with that, the film would be released on April 29, 2016, if you're interested.
Yeah,
I think it's a good attempt. I think it's a nice little segue from their skits to go into the movie. It honestly has that feel of the original skits that they did back in the day.
Yeah, I agree. And I was to say, I love a lot of their sketch comedy is freaking hilarious. It's always, I don't know, it's sort of like a mashup of like a little bit of Mad TV meets Chappelle Show is what I see a lot of, or SNL meets Chappelle Show. But you know, Mad TV and SNL are like two very different levels of the same general idea. But I would actually watch it. I think it'd be a fun little comedy for the sake of comedy. Like it's literally just a weird little these guys being silly, sort of like when gosh, I can't think of any comedy actor off the top of my head. It makes me sad, but it's sort of like, you know, there we go. Like when Jim Carrey or Adam Sandler, just that sort of fact. It's like you're going to see it for the name, and you can judge people or not for it, but you know what you're in for. You know what you're expecting from these people, from Key and Peele's acting abilities and just the stuff they do, and they're there to make you laugh. That's what they want to do. And like Aaron said, they're breaking into the big screen world, which is ultimately the goal of pretty much any actor. So,
of course.
Good on them.
What do you think, Cruz?
I wasn't sure what to think it, but then I noticed that you said, yeah, you put a name on something, the buddy comedy, which I've seen plenty of, and I mean, not all of them are good, but this one, just while the premise might sound dumb, I think that's even more funny that they're taking it seriously. We're expected not.
Right.
Right. I think
the
so.
fact that the cat just survived.
Yeah. I have no idea how. Well, I mean, it is a comedy. It's a kind of comedy, so of course we're not going to kill the cute little animal, but it is.
Of course. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
That we know of.
Well, yes, unless it's Wake and Fright. Wow, wait a minute, you actually know that reference?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, I saw it in the big screen 2013. They do harm animals in it, but that's they actually had this really weird thing at the end of the movie.
That's
they
like, well, that's like saying they harmed.
Hunt.
Well, that's like saying they harmed animals in Old Yeller, which they actually
No,
did.
you don't understand. They actually shot and killed like a dozen kangaroos.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
and they
sure.
actually say at the end of the film, this was on a sanctioned hunt.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure Renegade Rue would be pissed. But anyway.
Yes. Sorry, Rue, sorry.
Cover your ears. Oh wait, you already heard it. Shit.
But anyway, let's move on. To our next.
Good night,
film.
Nero. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, continue,
Oh,
Scarfy.
man.
Sorry.
Apparently, Gary Marshall should quit while he's ahead. Mother's Day is an upcoming American comedy film directed by Marshall. The film stars an ensemble cast led by Jennifer Aniston, Kate Hudson, Julia Roberts, Jason Sudeikis, and featuring Timothy Olyphant, Margot Martindale, Shay Mitchell, and John Lovitz. As Mother's Day draw close, a group of seemingly unconnected people comes to terms with the relationships they have with their mothers. Sandy is a divorced mother of two boys whose ex-husband has recently remarried a young woman named Tina. Miranda is an accomplished writer who gave up her only child, Kristen, for adoption at birth. But as a grown-up, Kristen prepares herself for marriage. She begins to contemplate the missing part in her life and is encouraged by her friend, Jessie, to go out and find her mother. Meanwhile, Jessie, who never sees her mother, is surprised by her parents when they come to visit and must come to terms with their failing relationship. Sadly, this film trailer had me yawning like I've never yawned. This is the same guy who made the critically panned Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve. So honestly, yeah, this film isn't holding up for me at all. But if you want some stupidity to laugh at, this film comes out on April 29, 2016.
I think that's a bit harsh. I mean, says you want some stupidity because it's supposed to be a bit comical, but at the same time, it's like these are things that people do deal with. There's a bunch of abandonment, you can go into that, or just not really being connected. And it is another thing definitely more geared towards, well, women. It's women's relationship with their mother, which is much different by and large in society than sons with their mothers, or daughters with fathers and sons with fathers. So speaking of that,
I mean, I would take that, I would take that statement as valid, but it's just I'm looking at the person who directed it, and it's just it's not giving me a good sign for this one.
Me neither.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because it's looking more in reality base than it is in like what we'd see in a theater. Like normally we want to go to theater to be entertained. I think what this is more of like almost like a soap opera ish, except it's not as like way off the rails of reality. It's more like based in like these are everyday problems that people have. And what people want to see is other people experiencing them. Like these big hotshot actors, they want to be seeing them be like, hey, what about if you took a day in my shoes? That's what this type of movie's for.
Yeah, and that
it's like reality.
And again, that speaks to a female audience. So like it's exactly. So like for me, I couldn't say whether I'd like it or not. I've seen my share of anything from like romantic comedies to chick flicks and stuff like that, and they have their stigma to them, but sometimes they like this is addressing pretty valid points. I'm not gonna like say no, Scarf, you're wrong, it's gonna be a great movie, how dare you, but at the same time it's like completely condemning it down to stupidity to laugh at. It's like that, by saying that, I feel like you've missed the entire point of what this is supposed to be. But otherwise, like I as for the quality of the movie, I admit I have no idea if it's gonna be good or not. So, but that's just my thoughts. Would I go see it if that's the real question? I guess I don't know. I would not be opposed to seeing it, but it's not the top of my list.
I don't want to go to theater to watch like everyday people problems. I get enough of that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I get enough of that at home. That what I want to do is be entertained when I go to movies. Because here's the thing. There's drama in everyday life. It's not just for furries, believe it or not. I know how shocking it is, but drama does exist in every single aspect of your life.
Is special.
Yes, it does.
Aww.
Really quick. See, Cody, just want to say goodnight to you if you're still on. Thanks for sticking around with us.
Yeah, thanks, Cody. What do you... I'm pretty sure... Cruz, you gave your thoughts on this movie, right?
Yeah, it's sort of on board with you, but it's not... I don't want to too quickly or too harshly, but the trailer for this movie, it's like I sort of formed that image in my head that it's like why is bad movie, but for me seeing this, I've seen so many of these movies that I'm like I'm done with it.
You know why they keep making these movies? They make money.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that's the reason behind almost everything.
Well, you want to know something? You want to know something, Esteban? I don't care if they make money. I want them to have substance. Okay.
I know, but the problem is that then you need to get other people to demand substance from them.
Right.
That's the only way you're going to actually get change.
True.
I mean, my brother's in Hollywood right now because he wants to make a difference out there. He actually has a brain and knows how to use it. So I just hope they can actually make a change out there. But the problem is that people like the rehash of the same stuff over and over and over again. I think it's a big problem. It's the reason why they're remaking movies over and over again these days. You're like, wait a minute, this formula works.
Thank you.
The formula. Why not just redo the entire thing?
Exactly.
They're all the way. It's like I see so many fucking remakes. It's like, please, new ideas.
Yes,
new ideas.
Some of them absolutely suck.
Actually, you know what? I have a video to watch. I will post it after the chat. But yeah, I'll give it to you guys, and it'll answer your question on why there's not enough original stuff anymore. But yeah, anyway, we need to move on to our last film.
Yes.
What film? Oh, the one I've been saving up for?
No. One more. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's this one.
Is it Ratchet and Clank by any chance?
Based off the beloved video game franchise that we all know and love, the Lombax and Robot come back again, this time in a feature film appropriately named Ratchet and Clank. an upcoming American-Canadian 3D
Oh my
computer-animated science fiction action comedy film starring the voices of James Arnold Taylor,
Yeah.
David Kaye, Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Bella Thorne, Rosario Dawson, Jim Ward, Sylvester Stallone. Series creator Insomniac Games helped with the film's production. Screenplay, character development, and animation. The film will be directed by Jerrica Cleland and Kevin Monroe. Concept artist of the show, Hey Arnold and the Ant Bully, and director of the upcoming Sly Cooper. We'll talk about that later. Featuring an original story written by the former Insomniac Games senior writer T.J. Fixman, who started writing for the series with the Future Saga. Several cast members from the games will reprise their respective roles, and assets from the video games will be utilized in the film.
Okay. This is what I've been saving off of from earlier about games of substance. And so what I really liked about the Ratchet and Clank games, because I grew up with them when I was a teenager, is that on the back of the cover, all it says is that you blow shit up. But what you actually get is a real story in there too.
Right. But when
it's something I'm really eager to see is an actual story, because they really know how to do it.
Yeah. I think the cool thing is they kind of realized, especially at that time in video games, people didn't want a story yet. They wanted just random action. And so they got that. And then all of a sudden they were kind of sucker punch / surprise punch, not in a bad way, just like, hey, here's actual substance. They're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened?
Exactly.
And that's what helped. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the film will begin an origin story that retells the events of the original Ratchet & Clank, depicting how Ratchet & Clank met each other as they attempt to save the Solana galaxy from being destroyed by Chairman Drek and the Blarg. However, the film will expand on various plot points in greater detail and will also incorporate some elements from later series entries, such as the introduction of Dr. Nefarious and the Galactic Rangers. Sadly for me, as I have not played any of the video games, obviously seeing this film is probably a bad idea, considering that video games are really good, and when they tell an extremely good story, and the only video game movie that I can think of that really isn't a video game movie is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Represent?
That's a video game movie?
No, it's a...
Technically, it's a comic book movie, but it has video game themes.
That's what I thought. I almost thought you were going to say Super Mario Brothers, but...
Well, that movie's awful.
That's right.
and since,
it's a video game movie.
Yeah, but they don't do it well. And since Hollywood really doesn't do well telling stories about video games, and that they always seem to... I'm both interested and perplexed to see how this film will do and how to compare it to the original source materials that are the video games. Another thing that I'm also perplexed is that they didn't get the original voice actor for Chairman Drek, who was replaced this time by Paul Giamatti. Personally, I think Kevin Michael Richardson has already done a fine enough job voicing this character, especially since he's been in numerous cartoons and other animated films to begin with, so I don't see the reason why he couldn't reprise his role at all. But hey, I guess if they have an A-list actor, it means it's a good thing, right? We'll see. There are other actors like John Goodman and Sylvester Stallone who are also going to be voicing in this movie, so at least he's not the only one left out. But we'll see how they perform, considering they probably haven't played the games either. I know a lot of people, especially the furry community and fans of this games, are excited as well. And if you're interested, you can see the film when it comes out on April 2016. The only problem that I have is that I wish I played the game series. But hey, Sly Cooper will eventually come out, so I'll get my chance to gush about a furry video game soon enough.
Now, remember, Zack, about half an hour ago, we were talking about games where you could switch between third person, first person.
Yeah.
You could do that in Ratchet and Clank games.
No, yeah, you could, couldn't you?
It's way harder when it's in first person mode. It is possible. I have beaten the game in first person mode twice. It is possible. It's a lot of fun.
I bet Aaron...
It makes it so much more complicated.
I bet.
You know a movie that Aaron would definitely go see?
What?
A Crash Bandicoot film.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I'll be sitting at the front door. If you guys don't know, about a year and a half ago, I did a marathon where I beat Crash Bandicoot 2.
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't just mean completing the story. I mean getting every single item in 6 hours.
Jeez.
100% in 6 hours.
Putting in work.
And then I showed Esteban someone who beat the game in less than 47 minutes.
That person has no life. That person, all they've done...
Well, apparently he does if he had to import Hold on. Apparently he does if he had to import a special PAL version of the game as well as a PAL region PlayStation 1.
Just because you have money doesn't mean you have a life.
Here's the thing.
Well,
but
he
if
had
has-
to make the money
in
somehow.
order-
Not necessarily,
in
because
order to
folks
play
are
the
about
game-
money.
You make the
that
money by
fast.
being alive.
Right.
play the game that fast with no issues is mind blowing.
Yes.
Because it's a very complex game to beat that
Right.
quickly. If you ever played Crash Bandicoot in Channel, it might be before your time. I don't know. This
No.
game came in '97.
Uh-huh.
It is complex to do. The fastest I've ever
What?
done was in college, 4.5 hours
Nice.
to total
Agreed.
completion. And when I did the 6-hour run, I had not touched the game in a year, by the
Right.
way. And I think there's one night where you bet I couldn't beat the game in one sitting, and I got the whole story mode completed in less than an hour and a half. It is one of my favorite games of all time. But what's nice is that, like, if you guys didn't know, Naughty Dog and Insomniac, the makers of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro Dragon, respectively,
Uh-huh.
when they went to PlayStation 2, Naughty Dog went to Jak and Daxter, and Insomniac went to Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They'd actually collaborate with each other.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
Like,
I-
believe it or not, the demo for Spyro 1 was
Uh-huh.
on Crash 3, and Crash 3 demo was on Spyro 1.
So if
And if
Sony
you look through the games,
Uh-huh.
if you go through the games, you'll actually see crossover characters between them. In Ratchet and Clank's 1, 2, and 3, you'll
Yeah,
see
I heard about
you'll
that.
see Jak and Daxter. They do exist. I have seen them. And in Jak and Daxter, you will see Ratchet and Clank all over the place.
Oh, of course.
It's
So-
really cool.
So if Sony by E3 like ever decides to release another Crash Bandicoot game that is a platformer, shut up and take your money, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing about Crash Bandicoot. We'll probably never see one again because Sony does not own the rights to that. What happened
yeah,
was
that's
in the 90s, for Naughty Dog to get like any of their funding, they actually had to sell all the rights to Universal.
Hmm. All right.
There's a whole story about how they built that game. It is worth the read because they end up actually hacking the system to make Crash 1, 2, and 3 work properly.
Interesting.
And Sony was so angry, they tried to make their own game with their own code libraries, and they failed. And I
Miserably.
believe, like, Jason Rubin actually says, let me say that again. Sony tried to make another Crash game, and they failed.
Okay.
We'll have our own Crash game with blackjack and hookers.
But even still,
Yes,
Ratchet and Clank, I'm pretty sure you're excited for this movie, aren't you, Esto?
Yes, and so are every single Lombax furry I've ever met.
Of course.
Carinth.
There's Phalix, Phalicide, that's in I think he's in Rhode Island. Anyways, hi. He's a good furry, and he actually has a Lombax suit, and it does have the little tail poof.
Nice.
And Carinth as well.
Yes.
Carnith or
Okay,
whatever.
Lombaxes, I like them. In fact, when I was in high school, I used to sometimes imagine myself as a Lombax.
Nice.
Okay. So, what is
Yes.
your opinion on Chairman Drek being replaced by Paul Giamatti? Like, because
Well, here's the thing. Chairman Drek was killed. Spoiler alert. He was killed in the first game.
Right.
Like, he was actually killed. There's a scene where they actually kill him. So, he was never in any of the subsequent games. And that game came out in 2003. So, unless you're an absolute purist, you're probably not even going to tell.
Okay,
Right.
that's good.
Because it was released so long ago
Okay.
about that. So, because you remember the plot of the original one, right?
Right.
The
I mean,
first
I haven't
one
played.
was the.
I haven't played the first
okay.
game. I only.
Basically, Chairman Drek his home planet was being destroyed by overpollution. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Anti, crap
That's,
people. But anyways, not corn. Corn's good. But anyways, what
Corn.
they did was actually take other planets and piece them together. Now, I'm not going to go into the physics of why that is a stupid idea.
Right.
But anyways, the point is that Ratchet needs to save his world, and he ends up confronting Chairman Drek and kills him after a massive mech battle where Clank becomes, RoboClank, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Massive monster. But yeah, and then 2 and 3, that's when you get like Dr. Nefarious being introduced.
Yeah,
Of course.
And of course, Ratchet and Clank becoming like superstars.
So believe it or
Deadlock
not,
is a hard movie.
I have a spoiler alert for everyone.
huh?
I talked with Renegade Brew, and he wants to be on the show on May 8th.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I love
I'll
that.
tell
Talk
him
about
that
Ratchet and
it's-
Clank.
I'll tell
I'm-
him that it is fun, and be prepared to bring some corn cobs.
Yes, and thank you once again for joining us. I don't know if we ever actually officially said that during the talk so far.
I would absolutely. I want to say this again. I would love to come back. This has been a lot of fun.
We'll probably have you.
Oh.
Like we love having people on the show.
All right. Well, we might as well get on with our upcoming films.
Sure.
Our first upcoming film is a film called The Girl on the Train, based off the book. It kind of sounds like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I'm not really too sure about it. But I mean, even still, I mean, like, it's just it's another horror film. I'm pretty sure anyone would it.
Wait for horror.
Is
Isn't it released in like October?
It's just,
I think so.
What was that, Cruz?
it's sort of like a suspense with thrill. It kind of
Yeah.
it gave me a Gone Girl.
Yeah, I had the
It's kind
same
of like that.
same thought. It seemed more of a suspense, psychological thriller, like a little horror in the sense that makes you uneasy and scary, but not like here's a psycho killer murdering everybody, or here's this horrible like scary shit. It's like it kind of fucks with your head more than it really is there to make you go ah. So
Yeah.
but it. I don't know. The game. God, I'm still stuck in the old days of our chat about like an hour ago. But the movie looks interesting. I think it's cool. That's inspired by actual events, and by cool I mean for the sake of the story and the research they did, not for the fact that this shit happened. But to me, these type of movies don't usually connect with me. I find them interesting, but they don't. Like Aaron said, I go see movies to be entertained. This doesn't really entertain me. So
Yeah. I don't think Aaron has much to say on this film, do you?
that's up to you, Aaron. Thoughts?
Yeah, let's get on to with our next film. The Infiltrator. Kind of looks like another, another Breaking Bad spin-off, but I can clearly tell it's not. It's not Breaking Bad. I've seen the entire show of Breaking Bad, and I can tell you right now, it's not Breaking Bad.
Can I?
Go ahead.
What's up?
I was gonna say, it's kind of sad when you think about like healthcare in this country. When the teacher has to sell heavy drugs just to pay for the medical costs.
Yes, but we.
That says
He wasn't
everything about our
paying for
country.
that though. He wanted to make sure that his family had enough wealth.
But they still have to
Before he
pay
died.
for all of his anything he has to go through, any sort of
Right.
medication, any sort of bills that he already had, even if he's not buying
Have you
medicine.
ever priced?
Did you put the
medication-
Infiltrator on the
I
chat?
will.
Zack?
I apologize.
Have
Okay,
you ever
sorry.
priced medicine without insurance?
No, I haven't.
It's very.
Oh
very
my god, it
expensive.
is.
I know it because it pays for me. No, seriously, it's really, really expensive.
But that is a political issue. We will. You can.
It's
We
a
will save
political
for
issue, yes.
a different podcast for some other people.
Yes, sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Our next film is The Magnificent Seven. Looks interesting enough to me. I mean, like, it's about a Western with all these different people.
It's just the Hateful Eight again.
Did you see The Hateful Eight?
7.
No, but it's the
Yes.
same from like Hero Story.
No, I saw The Hateful Eight. It is nothing like.
Do you want
Right,
to
that's only his-
follow that up with like reasons why it's not, or are you just gonna say no, it's not?
Because the Hateful Eight are the bad guys, and I can't spoil
Oh,
it for you
so it's
because you have.
Well, that's fine. So but in the same sense, it's a protagonist version of the other one where you're basically rooting for the not antagonist, but your heroes are anti-heroes, basically.
Zack,
Yeah.
you have to go see The Hateful Eight yourself. I can't spoil it. I don't know what to come up with that, but I can tell you right now, it's not.
I'm Scarfy. I'm kind of losing you. You're kind of clipping in and out. Still there?
Did we lose him?
We might.
Yeah,
have.
I'm right here. Hello.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yay! Wow,
Sorry about that. Zack, I can't help you there. You have to go see The Hateful Eight yourself because it's nothing like that. And I've seen this trailer. It looks nothing like The Hateful Eight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the trailers look the exact same to me. So, but
You have to go see the movie yourself. That's all I can say. I can't spoil it for you.
so other thoughts?
No, I have no thoughts on this. Might as well. Cruz, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I liked the trailer. I mean, it's made you like want to support them because I don't want to say I'm a huge West.
Right.
I like movies where it's sort of like, I think the outlaw. There's no real power. It's
Right.
just you're out on your own, and I mean, you see a lot of awesome.
It's a lot more rough and tumble. That sort of like pseudo anarchy that was the Wild West.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we can move on to our next film. Our next film in the upcoming films is the new Jason Bourne film. I've never seen any of the Bourne films. My mom is a huge fan of the Bourne supremacy.
So good.
Their promise is that they keep doing it over and over
Yeah.
and over and over. Can we have like a different movie?
Right.
You mean like
It's not James Bond. It's
well,
not
no,
James Bond.
but like a similar formula to James Bond.
But here's the thing: is that with James Bond, they did change out James Bond for different actors every now and then.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Matt Damon still in this one?
Yes, Matt Damon's in all
he
of
is.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what, number 5?
I think
I
so.
think so.
Yeah, they
It's
who
goes back to the
was
same
that who
problem.
played him in the last one?
Right.
I think it was still Matt Damon, wasn't it?
No, someone else played. It was the guy who plays fucking what's his name in the
Oh,
Avengers.
right. They had a second Jason Bourne.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't remember his name though. I can't think of it off the top.
I'm looking it up right now.
But
It's the Arrow guy, right?
Yeah,
Hold
that
on.
guy.
I'm looking it up.
gosh, chat's probably gonna beat us to it. Let's see. See who's on the top of their game and not with heads full of
who's
corn.
Googling is the
Richard
best of
Chamberlain.
Google.
That's a Richard Chamberlain. Wait, really?
Yeah.
It
Oh.
sounds like a general from
It does,
the
yeah.
Civil War. Actually, there was a Chamberlain in the Civil War. and
There
he
was.
He was very instrumental in winning.
I like that
He was
movie
also-
idea,
Sorry,
Kyle.
I know my history.
That's
He
fair.
was also portrayed by
respect
Jeff
that.
Pierce, but anyway.
Yep.
Let's move on to our next
Sure.
upcoming film.
Yeah.
Our next upcoming film is The Founder. I'm not too sure if you saw. I really want to see. It kind of looks like another Wolf of Wall Street to me.
This looks really good, funny.
Mhm.
Just the way how this person figured his way to basically make a living off of franchising the infamous fast food restaurant that we all know and hate today.
I've had love hate with a lot, like between being fairly broke and everything else. But McDonald's, by and large, as a company, it's kind of despicable. But at the same time, it's easy to hate the people that have built themselves into a really comfortable spot. They have some shitty practices, but at the same time, like you can say the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
How many of you have actually worked at a fast food joint?
Yo,
See, you know what it's like. The
Yeah.
horrors in there.
I know that
I
it
can tell stories.
It sucks, and everyone has their own horror stories. But at the same time, it is that fact of the matter. It's like it always depends. I've actually seen.
Oh yes, of course. If you work in corporate, that's one thing.
Yeah, but even on the floor, like my worst issue in fast food wasn't. I mean, my boss was sort of a dick. My coworkers were really cool. My supervisor was cool. I didn't mind the work. The hours sucked, but it wasn't their fault. That's all the position I took. It's usually the customers. The fact of the matter is, if you're working customer service or retail or fast food, you realize people suck. I'm sorry, people
They do suck.
are assholes. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
There's a funny story actually.
Uh-huh.
I remember this one guy would always come in for a full-size bacon cheeseburger, no salt, medium fry, no salt, and his large iced tea.
Uh-huh.
And he'd sit there for like an hour doing his bills. Over the course of the summer, I watched him go completely bald.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it was the food.
I don't think it's the food.
Like
I
the
just,
customers do. Some do suck.
of course.
Between
But
the
I
food
have to
and the
say-
stress, I'm sure it could be a bit of a group
But I have
effort.
to say, what's nice, weird, the kids. When a bus comes in, everyone is fucking panic stricken. Sorry, folks. They're all panic stricken. But do you know what? The kids are all reasonable.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all
you know-
reasonable. The adults
Right.
are losing their minds.
Oh god.
You wanna know what I would have loved? I would have loved to try McDonald's before they franchised the thing.
It probably
Oh,
was.
back in the
It probably was
original?
much.
Oh, yeah. Way better night and day. Like, believe it or not, some of those places actually use wood pulp as filler.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's true.
Surprise!
Believe it or not, I still kind of like their chicken nuggets. Even they're probably one of the least threatening things on the chicken nuggets. And one of
You
one of the
know
one of
they're,
the
like,
people.
not real, right?
I
Threatening.
don't. You know what? I got into it. Someone asked me, "Why do you say chicken nuggets are the least threatening on the menu?" I'm like, "Well, you know how everyone says food is terrible," and they're like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, to be honest, chicken nuggets they're the least of your concerns when it comes to McDonald's menu. There are much worse things to get on the menu.
Honestly, the weird thing about all the McDonald's food and a lot of foods is the fact that it's like it's made with preservatives and a whole bunch of other stuff, and people say it's terrible, and it is terrible for you. But it's just a matter of it's pretty much like just about anything else. It's that weird sort of thing that your fast food was meant to be. I'm in a rush, I don't have time. If you just take
Exactly.
some time to cook some food or do some, just go about eating stuff that you know is pretty good for you, then I'll have McDonald's like probably once a week, and I'm actually in pretty decent health.
You
It's
don't
just-
eat it.
I had it on the way back from a concert.
yeah,
There was
exactly.
nothing else
Yeah,
around.
I would only
Exactly,
have
right.
it like once a month, and that would be it.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
eat
mean,
it
I
very
haven't.
often.
That,
See,
that
most-
that's been the first time I've had it in a month.
Yep, and it's
Yeah,
not terrible.
It's like a splurge, really.
Yeah.
You don't eat it
Right.
all the time unless you want to meet your maker.
Yeah.
But if you want to,
No.
I mean, for splurging, it's one thing. But
Yeah.
you're right. It's for people who are like, I need to get them out of here now. Like, it is like 6 a.m. I need to be in Pittsburgh for Anthrocon like 2 hours. I have no time for this stuff. But that's fast food. There are joints that will do it. That actually take their time and cook the food properly. It's actually really good. You can probably guess the two joints I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In
But,
and Out and Five Guys. They
Yep, of
actually
course.
take their time to do stuff. If you are
And they're not franchised at all.
really,
Yeah.
They're not all.
In and Out isn't. Not
In and Out is
isn't.
not. It's not all around the world. No.
No, it's not.
But it is right across the street from TFF. Spoiler: if you guys go to TFF, there is an In and Out literally across the street.
You know the one thing I'm really sad about.
So-
Yes. You want to know the one thing I'm really sad about? Starbucks is now becoming a franchise, and I'm kind of wondering if they're
Coming?
Scarlet.
It is.
Have
It
you
is.
ever
I was gonna say.
Have you ever been to the West Coast?
Starting when?
Yes,
No, they're becoming a
Starbucks
super
is a
franchise.
franchise, and I'm starting to wonder if it's already as bad as they used to be before
It's
their coffee
pretty.
was actually.
It's gotten worse. Their quality's gone down as
I-
their franchise
okay.
went up. Yes.
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
I have a confession to make.
What?
I don't drink coffee.
You and Fiverr, I swear.
Okay, Fiber Kitty doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah, you guys.
He
I don't
does
know how
not
you do
drink.
it.
I absolutely cannot stand the flavor. Even though people offer me coffee on Twitter, I know it's Twitter, so I'll be like, "Thank you," because I don't want to feel bad and like say, "But I don't drink coffee." It's just so endearing when they're like, because I'm
Yeah.
like, "Hey, anyone wants noms for breakfast?" It's like, "No, I don't drink coffee." So for me, like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, it's like, you know what, or Timmy's. I don't drink the coffee. I usually go to Dunkin' Donuts for their chocolate chip muffin or their hot chocolate. That's
Understandable.
it. So for me,
Okay.
coffee, I give like two shits about it. I don't really care.
Very true.
But what's really crazy about Starbucks is when I was in Denver for the Democratic Convention, there's a Starbucks on every single corner.
Oh yeah, that's
I
happening more and
swear to God.
more.
I actually was in one Starbucks, looked across the block, and there's another Starbucks.
Shutter says you
It's
may have
real-
disappointed Cheetah Obscura, Aaron.
Why?
He already knows.
Oh, that's okay.
Already knows.
All right.
He already knows.
All right. Well, let's move on to our last upcoming film.
I had one. I had one little thing to add.
Go for it.
Aaron reminded me of was the episode of SpongeBob where he has to cook like 10,000 some odd patties, and
Oh dear God.
he gets the crazy dream. He's like, "I'll be right here in my heart, actually in your arteries."
So funny.
Yep, pretty much.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, Kyle. Yes, that is true. That is so true.
There is.
I loved how it ripped off E.T. though. That was hilarious. That made the cake.
E.T. phone home.
Oh my god.
To answer that other question,
E.T., isn't the next thing? Is that a perfect segue to the next one?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Our last upcoming film is Independence Day Resurgence. Now, before seeing the very first teaser trailer where, we were like, where the hell is Will Smith? Where are these other characters? Finally, after much speculation, the trailer is starting to finally add up. Am I going to go see the film? I might go see it. I mean, like, I don't think it's as great as a masterpiece as everyone says the first one was, but I'll
Okay,
go see
here's the thing. They were going to originally make that film in 2000. The reason why it took them 20 years to make that film is because there was all this back and forth about how much they're going to pay all the people. Because
Right.
it's a big hit. And I believe the director, this name escapes me now, wanted X amount of money, but Will Smith also wanted X amount of money.
Roland Emmerich?
Roland Emmerich, thank you. They wanted tens of millions of dollars, and they couldn't negotiate on how much money Stu would actually give them for a sequel to this blockbuster. To the point where, after 15 years of negotiations, they just said, "Screw it, Will Smith, you're out."
I can't believe Roland Emmerich has made is making Independence Day Resurgence. I mean, at least it's directed.
He's wanted to for a long time,
and now he's finally going to get the
Because of
chance to. It's
right.
It's so apparently the husband of
that.
Stephen Hiller passed away, and I don't know why, but apparently it's written as canon now. So no Will Smith.
Aw.
That's right. They did that because
They
they
couldn't
didn't want
afford
him
him.
to come back and change his mind. They made that because they just couldn't. They were just sick and tired of negotiating. So screw this. We're just going to kill him off.
That works.
So,
I mean, it does
It took
work.
him way too long. Now the thing is that
I thought
originally
like Will Smith wasn't able to just didn't want to do it at first, but no, he actually
it made a ton of money. Are you kidding?
yeah.
It was a gravy train.
Yeah.
I remember when that movie came out. It was advertised everywhere.
Right.
In fact, there's supposed to be another film called Independence Day that year. So you remember that speech Bill Pullman gives?
Yeah,
that's like
tonight.
the best speech ever.
That speech was not originally in this film. It was put there to justify the title Independence Day.
Oh, wow.
That's the only reason why that speech exists. And now, whenever you think of that movie, you think of that speech.
I think of
And
Jeff
that speech
Goldblum
was-
whenever I think of Independence Day. But
Yes.
keep going.
Time's up.
No, he goes you know.
Yes, yes. Must go faster. Must go faster. Go, 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 go. Ah! And of course, it's like, good night. Yes. Or,
Everyone remembers that movie. So I don't know if this movie is going to be
It is
great.
a classic.
I saw the first Independence Day. I mean,
It looks like a CGI fest, unfortunately. And
There-
I really don't like that. It makes me sad.
I know. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of stereotypes. At the same time, it's a popcorn flick. Everyone's going to. I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
Everyone's going to want to see this thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to want to see this thing. And what's
I know.
really interesting is Brent Spiner's back.
I know.
Oh.
Brent's. Yeah.
Yes, which
didn't
is-
he
okay,
didn't he die or something?
Apparently he didn't, but they didn't show him that.
Didn't
And
he,
did
like,
appear in the rest of the
die?
film. I know. I'm
the-
assuming you all saw this film, right?
The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
All right.
Yes,
Well,
Steve Jobs.
All right. Well, shall we move on to? Wait, what?
Nothing. I'm quoting Oscar Wilde, but okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Scarfield. Let's move on.
Well, do you want to move on to what everyone's been waiting for, Aaron?
Sure.
Let's go.
All right, the Jungle Book.
Woo!
Yeah.
Did you saw it? You saw it apparently, Aaron.
Yeah.
Did you?
What?
Are we losing
Isn't that
you?
what you're here for?
Oh.
Right.
So are we gonna hear about it, or are we just gonna sit around and go, monosyllabic exchanges?
Okay.
I mean, I love me some monosyllabic exchanges.
All right.
What?
Well, before we begin the actual questions that we want to ask the audience and we want to ask you, we have to come up with a backstory that I personally wrote myself. So,
Okay,
yeah, allow me to read what I have.
go for it.
Yes. Some
What
of it
did-
surprising.
A mere 4 years later, after the success of The Sword in the Stone being released in 1963, becoming the 6th highest grossing film of that year, the Disney animated version of The Jungle Book was up next, directed by Wolfgang Reitherman, one of Disney's 9 old men, one of the Walt Disney's Company's core animators, some of whom later became directors who created some of Disney's most famous animated cartoons, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs onward to The Rescuers, and were referred to such as Walt Disney himself. Released in 1967, The Jungle Book was the final film to be produced by Disney when he was alive, which made things more complicated for the studios the years to come for animators at Disney. Oh, don't get me wrong, they made money, but for the most part until after The Jungle Book was made and after Disney's death, the films to follow, whether you like them or not, didn't ever reach the Snow White standards of until 1989 when they released The Little Mermaid to start the Disney Renaissance period. Films were being produced every year. And on top of that, the films began taking longer and longer to produce. And unfortunately, this was the last blockbuster hit that Disney had for a long while. However, did that stop the film from taking off? Actually, no. It ended up being even higher than The Sword in the Stone. In fact, it was the 2nd highest grossing film of that year, being right under Mike Nichols' The Graduate, which I find it absolutely hilarious that the 2 highest films that were a film about seduction and a film about talking animals. Coincidence? I think not. But what was it about the film that made it so great? Was it the characters, the story, the music? One could say so. I was never a huge fan seeing this film on a VCR when we had one, but look at it nowadays. Actually, you know what? I still don't think it's the masterpiece that everyone makes it out to be nowadays. The main problem with The Jungle Book was that it reused the same animation sequences in certain scenes of the movie as well as films. But what made it even worse was that, due to Disney's death, the next films to follow reused the same animated clips from the film as well. For example, elements of The Jungle Book were recycled in the later Disney feature film Robin Hood, due to that film's limit budget, such as Baloo being inspiration for Little John, who not only was a bear but was also voiced by Phil Harris. In particular, the dance sequence between Baloo and King Louie was similar for Little John and Lady. Not that there isn't anything wrong with it, and back then I don't think anyone would have
It's
noticed
called
that
cutting
you could,
corners.
notice that you could get away with something like that. But the problem is that nowadays you can clearly see that Disney was suffering back then, even if the stories were more than afloat, but to each their own. The story, I'm sure you have heard a million times. A young boy or man cub named Mowgli is raised by a pack of wolves until one day Shere Khan to his part of the jungle and wants to kill him. A panther named Bagheera wants to take Mowgli to the man village. The only problem is that Mowgli doesn't want to go. He wants to stay in the jungle and find everything and anything he can to get away. Along the way, he meets an elephant, a dancing bear named Baloo, a crazed ape named King Louie, and a snake named Kaa. And it's up to Mowgli to ultimately make the right decision. Whether you liked it or not, the film was an overwhelming success. Not only did it make bank at the box office that year, but it inspired a live-action remake in 1994, a theatrical sequel in 2003 known as The Jungle Book. That's not The Jungle Book 2. That's interesting. And ultimately, it leads to the live-action musical remake that this... So, let's ask the questions that we want to ask as well. I should also mention that the film is directed by Jon Favreau, who also directed films Elf, Zathura, Iron Man's 1 and 2, Cowboys and Aliens, and is critically acclaimed Chef.
Well,
What was your opinion on the first trailer you saw of The Jungle Book?
That would explain why I loved it so much.
Rehash.
I loved all those movies.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Hey.
Yeah.
I love Zathura. I loved
Those
Zathura.
movies-
A good
okay,
rehash.
those movies were
mind
good.
you.
The movies, yes, it is a good rehash. But it makes me wonder: is there a problem in Hollywood?
There
Do they
has
not-
been.
Are they too?
Of course.
Are they too scared to make original ideas?
Yes.
I'll
That's
show
my-
you that
that's my
video
biggest
in a
fear.
while.
I'm beginning to wonder if they're too scared of making original ideas. Because I've actually talked with people about this, and what they say, it's like, what would you rather do as a studio when you can? Because if you've noticed, the budgets for movies are either really little or really big. The middle movies that cost between $10 million and $100 million, so the cheap ones, are really not made anymore because they're considered too risky. Either have to cost like less than $10 million, like indie films, or they have to be blockbuster $100 million films. What would you rather trust? A brand new idea that has never been tried before, or
an
an
old hit.
established universe
Yeah.
that's from an older movie that you redo
Yep.
for
It's a
a
big-
new
it's-
generation that has
it's-
remembered it.
It's a big risk, and there's nothing from the past that we can connect to. And that's the exact reason why we should make original material, because there's nothing from the past that we can connect to, and it's a big risk. But
Right.
anyway, I loved Zathura. I thought it was a great movie, and by the way, it's by the same
Yes.
author who wrote Jumanji, so don't be surprised if it's not.
That is a great film.
Yeah. Both of them
Amen.
actually are. I like this.
Okay, have you ever read the original story?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
It's like what, like 10, 15 pages?
Uh-huh.
Around,
It's
I think it's
amazing
like
what they able to do.
25 pages, but like
It's
yeah,
not
almost-
very long, and they
No.
made a feature-length film around it.
They did great.
Now,
It was
back
amazing.
then, they knew how the hell to do that. Unlike other films like The Grinch,
Which one?
not the classic.
Yeah.
Talk about the Jim Carrey abomination.
Oh,
Right.
oh God.
Exactly.
That was
Exactly. That one is hell. That shows that some studios don't know what the hell they're doing, but when they can do something like Jumanji, okay, that was amazing. Especially when I saw in theaters. That film was good.
Mhm.
I like Zathura too.
Right. Yeah. So Thor was really good. I was impressed, but of course I like Jumanji better. But Jumanji had a bunch of things going for it. It was really well cast. It was just interesting. It was good for its time. And Robin Williams. Come on.
yeah.
Yes, may it rest in
Yeah.
peace.
And by the way, I just want to let you know, for those people who are making a Jumanji sequel, fuck you.
Are
Yep.
They
Yep.
are, and
but there's no Robin Williams.
exactly, and
But
they're
here's
it's
the
like
thing. They finished the game. What are they going to do now?
Find it
Play
again.
it
I guess.
again.
I know what they're going to do. They're going to play it again, but with a different
Exactly.
Yep. So
Anyway.
But the thing is that the thing about the original one is that they actually time warped.
and I've got Rocky Horror playing in my head now.
Rewrote everything. Let's do
Yep.
the
Yep.
warp again.
I just
Anyway,
came from rehearsal too. God.
but yeah, wait, you're
Well,
that-
yeah, we'll discuss that later. I'll talk more about it.
Okay, okay. Wait.
all right. What was your opinion on
thing
the
about-
first? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say they time warp. So if they do Jumanji 2, are they going to try to use the same theme again, where it time warps back to when they started the game?
They could go back to before the people
if
buried
they
it
do a
originally.
remake, the film will fail. Absolutely.
They will absolutely fail. It's also too soon. And I don't mean because of Robin Williams' death. I'm saying too soon because that was made less than 20 years ago.
Yes.
Not only that, but you can't top Robin Williams. It can't be
I don't
done.
think. Okay, it can't be unless you're Disney and you find people to try to top him because he wants.
Dwayne
he doesn't want
Johnson
work
is in
anymore.
talks to be in the remake of Jumanji.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Don't know how I feel about that.
You do
Yeah.
know that for a while, Robin Williams and Disney were not on speaking terms, and they were basically talking like they're lawyers and shit, right?
Really? No.
What happened was that Robin Williams said he would do the voice of the genie in Aladdin, but
Mhm.
only if his character was not advertised much. Like it was like took up less than like a third of the poster art,
And he was everywhere.
He was everywhere.
Yep.
And so after that film he was actually not in the sequel.
Yeah, I know.
He was not. His voice was not in the sequel.
Which is interesting because he was in Aladdin and the King of Thieves.
because at that point they'd worked their differences out.
Yep.
Right.
So he came back. But for the second one, he wasn't there because they were
Dan
no longer in
Castanella
talking terms.
Dan Castanella was in it, but even
Because-
still, Return of Jafar
even
was
then-
pretty bad.
He really did not do much
I liked
with Disney after
I
that
used to
because
watch that
he
movie
didn't
all the
trust them.
time.
You liked
I liked
it.
them all a little bit, but I mean, admittedly, it was out of all of them was my least favorite. Not that I didn't like it; it's just it was not my favorite out of the three.
I will admit, I only saw the first one. I tried watching the second and third one, and I just never got it. I was also in kindergarten when the first one came out.
Mm.
That one's like, why? I mean, it ended beautifully. Why do you need to? Why do you need to go further?
Okay, right.
But back to
anyway,
the question. Sorry.
Yeah, let's go to the question. What was your opinion on the first trailer you saw of The Jungle Book? When I first saw the trailer of The Jungle Book,
Yes,
I immediately thought that I immediately thought that the film would fail because I thought I saw the voice who was voicing Ka, and trust me, we'll get to that in a minute because I have a lot of things to say about that.
Do I the thing that made me wondering is, okay, the first one was completely animated, traditional animation, which we don't see anymore, except for like on really good TV shows like Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Or Animaniacs on Netflix.
Yes.
Well, Animaniacs came out in the 90s,
Yeah.
so that's a little different, Scarfy.
Little older.
That was my
Well, it's on
childhood.
Netflix, so
It is
it's on Netflix
because
right
people
now.
my age are having nostalgia trip. Oh, by the way, hi people. But no. Anyways, the thing.
That was amazing.
I love you guys. Anyways, the thing is that it's almost 97% CGI.
Yes.
At that point, if you need to use 97% of your film is essentially a blue screen with one real person. I know there's a few other people, but I'm saying one core human.
Yeah.
Man,
you know, I have a.
the thing is, at that point, why not just make it animated, like 3D anime, which they are good at?
I have a quote. I have a quote from. I have a quote from Jon Favreau, who directed the film, and you know, upon seeing the trailer, I was really just shaking my head. I'm like, oh my god, there's so much CG in this film.
There's more than you can imagine.
I know, and I was getting so angry. I'm like, oh, this film is going to suck. And basically, there was a quote that I had. It's by Jon Favreau. And here's what he said. The idea of going out to the jungle and shooting this, it just felt like it wouldn't have the magic that the 1967 film had. There was a dreamlike quality to it. There was a surreal quality to it. It was a high watermark for character animation, and to me, that's what I remembered about it. And so I wanted to make sure we preserved that. But what Alan Horn said was, look at the technology. Look at Life of Pi, Avatar. Why not use the technology to create a whole world that transports you? Let's really embrace this new technology and see what we can do if we can push its limit. Sorry to say, Jon Favreau, Life of Pi is a horrible movie. I will never go see it because they never used a real tiger. I think Fiber Kitty could play a better Richard Parker than.
Well, here's the thing.
Richard
The
Parker.
tiger, yeah, but the thing is that tiger would hug hug till,
I'm in danger of being
blue
hugged.
in the face. Yes, you're basically he's a hug machine.
Right.
Does anyone here not know what Fiber Kitty is?
He's the lean green hugging
Chat.
machine.
Oh, I know.
We know.
Is there anyone in this chat that doesn't know?
Oh no, we know.
Frankly,
I know
also
you guys.
He never gets sick. He never gets sick. You know why? Because he's too busy hugging people.
This is true. His immune system at this point has seen so many people because he's hugged so many people that he's probably immune to everything.
Probably.
Except for hugs, because hugs are hugs.
But at the same time, like, upon looking at this trailer, I do think that this film had way too much CGI to offer. Way too much. I thought this film wasn't going to be as good. But then after I saw the film, I thought, okay, well, maybe the CGI is not what matters. Maybe what matters about the film is the fact that you know,
But
there was animated characters in the film, and so it works technically.
It works right now, but here's the thing: will this film age well in 10 years? Because if you like the other day, I went to see The Mummy. I remember when that came out in '99. It looked really good.
Oh,
But
it looked
I
really
looked at
good.
the
I watched it again, and oh my god, the
exactly.
Yeah.
It basically
did I mention that
scream at you in
did
the
I mention that
face.
the Mummy was made the exact same year as the Matrix?
No, I
Yes.
knew, but I don't know if you mentioned.
But
Yeah,
here's the thing: the Matrix does a lot of it for real stuff. Like, remember Bullet Time, that big fad back in the day?
Yeah.
Do you know how they did that?
No.
It wasn't done by computers. What they did was he took, I think it was like 50 film cameras, like just simple, like point and shoot cameras.
Oh,
For those
like
people
yeah,
that
yeah.
don't know,
When they're
back in
shooting
day,
when they're shooting the dodge bullet scenes.
yes. For people who don't know, back in the day, what you did is went to the drugstore, like CVS or Walgreens, and you actually bought these one-time use cameras, and you just point, click, and you go to the next film. What they did was use 50 of these things and arrange them in a pattern and set up all the fire, not simultaneously, but like after millisecond delays. And when you pieced it together, it was like bullet time, where you just see the scene
So it's like
transition from one side to
what's
the
it
other.
called? A flip note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So basically, what would happen is that when you saw the film, it wasn't animated at all. It was all done for real.
Yeah,
Huh.
but
It wasn't done on a computer. It was done
Right.
for real.
Right.
But the thing is that for the Mummy, most of that was CGI.
Right.
So which one looks like it has aged better, the Matrix or the Mummy?
True.
The Mummy.
Exactly.
Right. So, what was your opinion on the first trailer you?
Who? Sorry, you cut out right there. Sorry. Who's
Aaron.
Aaron. Okay.
I think I've said this. CGI.
Yep.
No, you didn't.
CGI.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. When I look at, I've made films before.
Uh-huh.
Like I've actually made like at least a dozen by this point, and some of them were professional. I know how hard it is.
Oh,
I've actually
it's
broken
really
my
difficult.
feet doing this stuff. Like I've actually woken up in pain after a day of shooting, a 14-hour day.
Well, yeah.
If you think like going to a con is hard to do for a fursuiter, that's nothing compared to what the people have to do to set up a film.
Yep.
That is nothing. So it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work
Yes.
to do. But the thing about for me is that it's just there's so much CGI, and you look and you can just see from a technical standpoint that you can see all the imperfections everywhere. Now, for most people, when they see this thing in contemporary times, which means they see it when it comes out, it's not a big deal. That is the latest technology you can pull out. But in like 10, 20 years, when you go show us from to your kids, you're going to see all how badly this thing is actually aged. Like, if you look at the wolves, they don't look like real wolves, for God's sakes.
No,
they just look like they're computer generated.
Right.
All the animals are computer generated.
Yeah,
but
here's the thing though. It's like you said, it was like CGI everywhere, but the thing is, like, it's entirely CGI, so that
it's essentially
at least it's that, but it's like that for the whole time, so that the errors are just in the movie. It's not like maybe the character is fucked up in one scene.
At that point, why not make the man cub a CGI character and make the whole thing animated?
That I actually agree
At that
with.
point, it's so close. I mean, they're going like. Remember how an hour or two ago, I was talking about video games, like the PS1, where they're trying to push that realism envelope so hard, but they just could not do it. And the cartoon ones actually worked better for the systems. Same issue is here. They're pushing that realism so hard. They're right on that edge of uncanny valley right now. They're not over it. They're still at it.
Right.
So why not just make it animated? Just
So
make
I'm
it
pretty
animated. That way, it would actually all work together. The errors wouldn't be glaring, because at that point you're like, oh, I'm actually going to see a film, not not a quote unquote real action.
Right.
That is like basically the quote would be like Wall-E. Ever seen
course.
Wall-E?
Yes.
Okay. You do know there
A
was
beautiful,
real people...
beautiful first act. Beautiful first act.
Yes, but the point is, did you notice in the first act when they're showing some of the advertisements?
Yeah.
Did you notice the CEO was actually a real person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did it in a way so it was just on a screen monitor.
Right.
Right, of course.
So, which would make that film have almost the same amount of CGI as the Jungle Book. But look
Right.
at the way they played it. It was
course.
more on the cartoony side.
Yes, yes.
And it worked well. It worked very well.
It worked well. But that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
If you're going to make most of your film CGI, with the exception of one person,
Uh-huh.
why not just make the whole thing CGI?
Exactly.
Just make it an animated film at that point.
Yep.
Right.
That's my gripe with this film.
Mhm.
I
Well,
don't know
another
if
thing.
anyone
Well,
in
another
chat's
thing with
agreeing.
that is that I did not want this to become like the Polar Express because I did not.
No, it is not. Here's the thing: Polar
No.
Express suffered from something called dead eyes, which is what
Yes,
every
there's
single
soulless
first
eyes with
except
no-
for one
Oh
person.
my god.
I know.
Dead eyes.
Yes, we can bring this back to first. Most fursuits have dead eye syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mine has it too.
So
I'm
does
not
Fibers.
immune to this either.
Not the new one.
There's Fibers. There's only no. He does have dead eye syndrome. They
Think
all
so?
do. There's one guy that I met at TFF Green Dragon, wherever you are. Hello. He actually has computerized eyes.
Oh, the blink.
That
Sorry. Okay.
move, that blink, and not just that, their pupils
That's
dilate.
pretty
That's
sick.
so cool.
That's a lot of
So
money.
it actually looks like he built it himself.
That's still
Well,
probably a
a lot
lot
of
of
people
money.
said, what if-
First to himself. But the point is that doesn't have dead eyes.
Yeah.
Telephone
Polar Express.
doesn't count because you
He
know
doesn't
has-
have
this
eyes.
is-
exactly.
It just has
There's
white
no
orbs.
pupils.
They're
And it
meant to
doesn't
be
matter
that way.
because
But
and it
she's
doesn't matter
also-
because she's so adorable that you hardly don't pay attention to.
To the
She
eyes,
is
yes.
so
Agreed.
cute. It was amazing. I was stunned that she showed up in
Yes.
Boston.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I was too. I was like, holy shit, is that telephone? I'm like,
Yes,
OMG, I have to get a hug.
I was blown away. I've seen her at wait a minute, how many cons I've seen her at 4 cons in a row right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
She gets around. She's at MFF, A&E, TFF, and FWA.
You're not one to talk. You just hit like 10 cons a year.
So I'm pretty sure that everyone. So I'm pretty sure.
But
So I'm pretty
she has
sure.
someone else.
Sorry, go ahead,
So I'm
Scarfy.
so I'm pretty sure that everyone can agree that the first trailer we saw of the Jungle Book too much CG. Like
I mean, like, I agree with what you guys are saying, but I actually didn't agree with much any of it until Aaron made that last point. It's like, yeah, the best thing to do would have been to make the kid also at least CG screen because,
It would fit better.
yeah, like, honestly, through the whole movie, the kid
It's not-
looked out of place. Beyond that, liked it.
Yes.
So that's all I have to say, because I know we're on limited time, and I don't want to start
Right.
another rant.
right, the 2016
Yes,
plot compared to the 1967 plot, I'm pretty sure like we don't even need to go over it because it's like
We
it's
have
just
gone over it.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's,
we pretty much did.
it's basically certain scenes are rearranged to fit certain scenes of the script in this film, and to be honest,
Exactly. It's kind of like what's that film, True Grit, where
Yeah.
they did a remake
That
of
was
it, and
great.
they matched the dialogue almost perfectly.
True Grit by the Coen brothers was actually done really well, in my opinion.
It
But
was.
Yeah,
It really was.
I love Jeff Bridges.
But he's the man.
He is the man. No, he's
Yes.
the dude.
He is the dude.
Yes.
It's the dude.
Actually, you know what they could have done? They could have done an effect similar to what Sky Captain the World of Tomorrow fucking did if they wanted to use a real actor. Well, I'll let you get a towel and clean
I
up.
hate that film.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
That was
what
that was
film
that
do you
was
hate?
a rage. That was a rage
Yeah.
gasm.
It sounded a lot more sensual from here.
Yeah.
Wait, what film?
Sky
Listen,
Captain
man.
in the World of Tomorrow.
Never. I need to look that up because, like, now I'm really curious about it. But
I
yeah,
could
go ahead.
only get through like 15 minutes of that film. I
Yeah,
think it
what-
might be worse than The Room. There, I said
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Okay, well, even still, what is your opinion on that particular the 1967 with the 2016 plot? Do we really have to go over it?
True. I felt it was true to the original one.
Yeah.
I think that they went a different route, but they were also A, filling up a lot more time, and B, just making it more
Not
action-packed.
that
The
much.
original one was a lot more
Yes.
kid-friendly, herpa-derpa, sing-along, oodalali-oodalali-ish. But,
And that's the thing.
the new one was a lot more, we're going to make you excited. We're going to have there be tension.
Yeah.
We're going to have this blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Did you ever see the one they did in the 90s?
No.
Wait, the
one
1990,
was-
the 1994 version of the Jungle Book?
I saw that in theaters.
Uh-huh.
That went way too realistic because that one really wasn't Jungle Book. It could have been
No.
called a different film. That was more like Tarzan more than anything.
Fair enough.
Probably, yeah.
And I knew that as a kid. Like, go watch it, it's like, this sucks. It's not really, it's not at all. It's more of a Tarzan film than anything, the 94 version.
Right.
It's not worth it. Don't watch it. This one is a lot better. If you really want to see
Oh,
it looks
food
quote,
fight.
realistic,
God, no.
why did you bring that up? Why'd you
Someone
bring that
brought it up in the
abomination
chat. Someone
I
brought it
gotta
up in
see
the chat.
this now. I
They're,
gotta see this now.
they're wanting to
No,
see what we'll argue
Noah,
about.
Noah, I got through about 10 minutes of that film
It's
before
awful.
I just ended up about to punch my screen in, like what my coworkers used to do. I don't. There is a story. I'll tell you that one day. Not here because it's not kosher. But no, that film is an abomination.
Of
And
course.
it cost way too much money. It took way too long. But anyways, I digress. I would rather see. I think I'd rather see The Room, like
yes,
the poor guy
it's
in a
the best
Clockwork
horse
Orange.
movie ever. It's
Guys,
the
I'll be
best-
right back. Give me
Remember
1 second.
the Clockwork Orange, where the guy had his eyes basically like propped up, and he had to watch films.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And his scream.
A
I'd rather do
Clockwork-
that with The Room than watch Food Fight.
Okay.
I think do what instead of waterboarding, they should just do that with like Food Fight.
Right.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
I know. But
So
anyway,
bad.
I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the 26 is a little better than the 1967 plot. More action in it. Most
Yes,
definitely.
I agree.
Wait.
All right.
It was
So,
badass.
but yeah, what's your opinion on the acting choices for the characters? And now,
Bagheera.
Aaron,
Honestly,
we have to
thinking
hold on. We're going them individually. Ben Kingsley as Bagheera. I'm sorry, he is the
Yes.
best.
Yeah.
He's the best voice acted character in the entire film.
Yes.
Yes.
You agree?
There's a lack of conviction.
Sorry,
behind
just
that,
just fangirling over here.
Oh, about Ben Kingsley.
I know he's out of my league.
But it's fine. But what do you think about? But yeah, Ben Kingsley
I was
as
a-
Bagheera.
Yes.
That's just
Loves it. I think honestly, whoever was the person scouting for actors and actresses did a phenomenal job on this film.
yeah.
They picked
Indeed.
the best one. Like whoever it was, they need to use that asset again because they just know instinctively almost who to pick for which roles and hit it spot on.
Oh my god. But yeah, Ben
Amen.
Kingsley, the way that he talked, I could follow that guy in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you, but Ben Kingsley is phenomenal as Bagheera. He did it phenomenally, a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
think he was perfect for the role, and not only like the condescending sort of mentor, but also I think especially towards the middle and the end, sort of really enhanced his banter with Baloo.
Oh yeah.
Easily the best voiced character in the entire.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go like, what do you think? I'm gonna go out of order with this. Christopher Walken as King Louie. I'm like laughing.
Yeah.
What?
Who
Something wrong?
the fuck let that man sing?
Hey!
So
At least it was. Hold on. At least it was more dignified than letting Christopher Walken play Shere Khan, because that would have been awful.
Yeah, but that's sort of like saying it's like, oh, what's that? You lost a leg. Well, it's better than having cancer throughout 90% of your body. Yes, there's a worst case scenario, but it still sucked.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a comparison. The fact is he did the voice. I didn't mind. It's just like, who let you sing this? Who let you sing this like that? Why was there not somebody there going, no, stop?
Who would have rather played the voice role of this?
Honestly, I wish they had somebody else that could have done a Christopher Walken impression and sang over for him instead of him.
You know why he does that stuff, right? It's because he got his start in dancing in theater.
Right.
So it's always his request that in any film he does to do some sort of dance and sing. Have you ever seen Weapon of Choice?
No.
Please tell. Oh my God. Chat, please enlighten these gentlemen. Weapon of Choice.
But I know that he does that because I've seen other films where he does that
He
stuff.
is amazingly good at dancing.
Yes, and that'd be great if he was dancing. My qualm is still with the singing, and it's even still. It's not even that bad. It honestly is.
Hey, at least it ain't Les Mis.
Again, this is this whole thing of it's like, well, at least it's not this other thing that's worse. Yes, but this is still my only issue too with the singing is that his oohs. Everything else, like, oh, it's fine. He does this. It's like you needed something, some sort of divine intervention to fix that. Because your vocal work for the part, great. The singing actually not that bad. And the it's like you sound like someone, like you have an itch in a place you're not allowed to scratch, so you're hopping around. That's what you sound like.
Meant to be bad. It's like because he's not supposed to sing, but it's like it's funny because he
I
does.
guess I've never
let him.
I should
that.
also mention that there really is no music. It's not even a musical film. I wouldn't even call this a musical film at all.
No.
Oh no. Oh,
But
no.
I guess, but I never got that humor. Like saying it's like, oh, it's so funny to watch this because it's like for movies, yes, I guess, but for singing or dance or any sort of thing that's like this is just absolutely terrible. It's like. There's a few times it kind of works, but there's very few times in music, for me at least, that I've heard. It's like, oh, I think it's funny, it's so bad. It's like, no, it's just I wish I had an ice pick so I could take out my ears. That's all I want. That's all I want out of life. So, but like I said, everything but the ooze were great that I thought he did. So.
Lupita Nyong'o as Raksha.
Raksha. Yeah, no, I liked it. I actually liked pretty much every. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be terrible. I didn't have the whole thing. It's like, oh, this would have been better by blah blah. It's like, no, y'all fuckers did great. Their voices were great.
I'm sorry, Zack. Scarlett Johansson as Ka was awful.
Yeah, no, she did fine.
No, she was awful.
She did.
She
did okay for the role, but
she did fine. But her voice was too recognizable.
What the fuck does that even mean? Everyone could tell who Bill Murray was, and he did a great job with it. And
Murray, seriously. I mean, here's the thing: when you hire these people, it's because when you hire these actors, you know why you do it? It's to get it's an actual term. It's called to get asses in seats.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're not hiring this person to be obscure.
Exactly.
Well, no, I kind of would have liked. I kind of would have liked a better actor for Ka than Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry, her voice was too recognizable.
And Christopher Walken's wasn't.
Well,
and Bill Murray's wasn't.
Well.
Oh no! Have I caught you guys in a trap? Oh dear! Sorry. Go ahead.
When he started singing, then yeah.
You could tell who these people were automatically.
Well, at least Christopher Walken and Bill Murray were actually trying compared to Scarlett Johansson. Her voice was just spoken dialogue with a computer, with a computer-erotic voice echoing effect. That's about it.
No, at all. Actually, the whole thing.
I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I mean, they added like the reverb and whatnot.
That's live reverb on that voice. Yeah,
there is, and that's the whole idea of that seductive, hypnotic. That's the idea. That's the reason they got her. And she did well. But I mean, that whole thing. If you don't like her voice for whatever reason, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm not saying you're wrong in your opinion, but like I said, a lot of things that are said or at least I'm not going to put both of you, but I'm going to point a finger at you right now, Scarfy. This is bad? Objectively, this person or this thing is bad, instead of an opinionative. I don't like it. And that's why I'm going to call you on your shit. It's like, no, you're wrong. It's not bad. You just don't like it. And that's fine.
I think there could have been a better voice actor.
Okay.
That's just
They
what
might
I think.
have.
So let me ask you this, and this is not to be affrontive or aggressive, but who would you rather have play that voice then?
The person who plays anything but Scarlett Johansson. I'm sorry.
Nope, never mind. Then I don't even value your opinion. You don't have a backup for
It doesn't make any sense.
Done.
Unless you can find someone else to replace that voice with, because you can't just have a blank slate there. I mean,
Yeah,
what are you going to put?
exactly.
Siri? Would you rather?
I was going to say Jim Connor's
That would be interesting.
voice of Willie.
I'm sorry.
Sterling Holloway
What?
played Winnie the Pooh and also played Ka, and I think he would have done if they still kept his voice acting.
But you know what? The snake was a female in the original.
Yes.
No, actually, I heard it was a male in the original.
It was?
I actually researched it.
In the animated or the book?
No, the book.
I'm pretty sure it's female in the book.
The book. It was the Rudyard Kipling's book. What featured Ka as male?
Shad, help us out. Was that a female or male in the book? Because I could have sworn it was female.
It was
in the book.
male. It was male. I'm telling you right now. I looked at myself. I just think there could have been a better voice actor than Scarlett Johansson.
I don't want to say that she did a terrible job, but she didn't do a terrible job. I just thought that I guess it was her voice coupled with the dialogue was like the scene just felt kind of awkward to me. It wasn't bad, but it was just like it felt like out of
they're
place
trying to
compared to the rest of them.
recapture. They're trying to recapture that moment from the original. I think it kind of fell a little bit flat because you knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it actually is. I'm looking back. I'm trying to see. I don't know if it actually assigns a gender to the character. I'm looking through and trying to find it, but
I told you it's from your Rudyard Kipling's book.
yeah, I know. I'm looking through like just information. I don't want to read through the whole book and find it. We're on a show, so I'm just trying to look for.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of time.
Nope. Okay, I will give that to Scarfy. Yep, it is male. I will give you that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey.
So yeah, if you feel male voice would be better because it's true to that. See, these are things I can value from your opinion. These things, yes, that's fine. I can totally understand that, but just bashing somebody and not backing it up, I immediately reject your
different.
I wouldn't even care if it's voiced by a female. I just would have loved if they. When I see Scarlett Johansson as Ka, I see I'm sorry.
That's fine. But at the same time, that's your association.
That's opinion.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing is that you have to think about it from a perspective of someone that has never seen these people before.
Right.
Because think about who's actually going to be going to see these films? Most likely children.
The new generation. That's who it's meant for.
Exactly. Do you think they've seen what Ben Kingsley looks like? Or
well, I'm pretty sure they saw. Hold on. Well, I'm pretty sure they saw the Avengers.
Maybe. I might be able to get it to you, but I don't feel like the Jungle Book was geared towards the same age demographic as the Avengers. And that might just be me, but
probably not. But even still, it's just. I'm getting nowhere with this argument because that's really all I can say. I think there could have been a better acting choice. I think Scarlett Johansson out of all of them, but that's just my opinion.
Wait a minute. Thank you, Shiny.
Mm-hmm.
What'd Shiny say?
I return to
loving everyone's mersexual voice.
You would, you strange little trash panda.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's an adorable trash panda.
But yeah, Idris Elba.
Your trash panda. Have fun.
He's my problem.
Let's talk about Shere Khan, played by Idris. I am totally not the
brilliant.
Idris.
Touchdown,
I am totally,
and the extra point is good.
yes, Idris. I am totally not the rehash ability. I am totally not the leftovers from Chief Bogo from Zootopia. Elba.
Okay. You have to remember that guy is extremely versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he can do so many different roles. Like No Good Deed, he played a psychopathic killer in that film. And you felt absolutely shit scared about having that man enter your house.
Mm-hmm.
But in Luther, the BBC show we got famous for, he is a bang up good detective. It's just
And
going
what
to
did
show
you-
how versatile he truly is. Oh, I felt shit scared when I was playing that tiger.
Yeah, I was
Like,
scared by that
could tell-
tiger.
I thought he was going to rip my. I honestly thought he was going to rip my head off.
What did you think of What did you think of him as Chief Bogo from Zootopia?
Honestly, thought that was he makes a really good sergeant. Wait,
Yeah.
honestly, if you heard that voice as your boss,
I just
yeah,
don't
you
care.
will be. You get your ass in line.
Yep.
He is extremely versatile in that department.
Hmm.
He is extremely versatile.
Yes.
Right.
He is like, it's just amazing that we haven't heard about him any earlier than Luther.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. If it wasn't for Luther, I don't think we've ever known about the guy.
Right. Bill Murray as Baloo. I liked Bill Murray as
Yeah,
Baloo.
he actually was doing something.
He was doing something. I wasn't digging his music, sadly. I kind of think he went a bit over the top. But, I guess that's just fans for you.
Just a shout out. Good night to Nuka, Thanks for joining us. Always fun.
Yeah.
All right, but so Bill Murray.
Bill Murray as Baloo, what did you think?
He actually is doing something for a change.
Yeah.
He's not basically phoning it in like he did in what was that one called? Oh man, why am I forgetting about this one?
The last one I remember Bill Murray in was Zombieland, where he played him.
Oh yeah, he played himself though.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think about the other one, the Japanese one.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
But why do you think that up? I think that, yeah. I
Oh,
think he did
Lost in
great.
Translation.
Thank you.
Oh.
Translation. That
I'm
one.
very-
he phoned it
I've
in.
done my
Same thing
research.
with, like,
I've done my
Life
research.
Aquatic. Life Aquatic.
I'm sorry.
If you say that film is good, I swear to God.
Esteban, I haven't seen the film, but I'm sorry to say I'm a
Don't
huge Wes
ever
Anderson
see
fan.
it.
Esteban, I'm a Wes Anderson fan. I'm sorry.
Here's
I
the
love
problem
Wes
with that
Anderson.
film. It's like this is what Life Aquatic Seeds History was like. I go to a school, go to college, and go, hey kids, want to make a film? Come right this way. And here's about $50 million. Have fun. Zip.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
well,
what the film felt like. It felt like a student film on drugs.
okay, well, let me. I'll show you Fantastic Mr. To get to that point, and he's
Yes.
the same
That's
director who.
different.
That one's good.
That's
He's not
different.
bashing the director. He's bashing the one work. Because no matter what your craft is, you're gonna make something that's
You're gonna
shit.
make a
It
screw-up.
happens.
But that
Yeah,
film,
but Wes
honestly
Anderson
felt
is-
way too amateurish for me.
Right.
The Fantastic Fox is fantastic, but
You
the
haven't
thing
seen it. Have you
is-
seen it? Have you seen it? The
I thought I
Fantastic
did.
Mr. Fox? Have you seen it? Esteban?
I think, yeah, I did.
Oh, who's the- who's the stars?
Amazing.
George Clooney's in that. Yes,
Okay.
but here's the thing: that particular film, Life Aquatic, was done as if it was by a total amateur.
Shiny
All
agrees
the
with you, by the
camera
way.
angles are wrong. All the camera angles are wrong. Thank you, Shiny. Yes. Basically, all camera angles are wrong. The staging is wrong. It kind of felt. I would even venture to say the Star Wars prequels feel much more composed than Life Aquatic. Okay, at least they're walking and sitting, sitting. But at least their cameras are positioned correctly and they are fluid in motion. The
Okay.
ones in that film were static,
Right.
and honestly felt like it was an independent film where no one knew what the hell they were doing. They're always just given all these shiny, fancy cameras from Panavision and didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
And they just set them on a table and it's like, okay.
Thank you. And by the way, Shiny, thank you for backing me up on this.
Okay. But even still, Bill Murray as Baloo, do you think he did a pretty good job?
He did a
Yes.
good job, yes.
Of course. And especially
So,
the way he's like
I would
sort of
rate- I would kinda rate,
sarcastic
like-
with Bagheera.
Yeah, that's great.
Bagheera was fantastic. Bagheera's like the best character in the entire film. Just his voice and his demeanor. I would follow that guy anywhere in a heartbeat. I don't know about you guys, but that's just personally how I feel.
Fair enough.
All right. So Yeah, I guess our last question is, did you like this movie more than the original, or did you find it not as good or same? And the next question is, do you think that introducing kids to live-action films begets old animated films is a good idea? I got into a debate with another film student of mine, and he said that kids these days are probably not going to spend their time watching the animated classics because we just have the technology to do so much more with them nowadays because no one cares about traditional animation anymore. But to be fair, I actually
Not
really like the
entirely
animation.
true.
I know. I actually really think
Not
animation's
entirely
good.
true, because the thing is, like,
Well, I
there are
mean-
some really good TV shows out there that use traditional animation techniques, like what BoJack Horseman has some
Yes.
traditional.
Yes.
Then there's also like Rick and Morty, which Fiber Kitty introduced me to.
But
and
I need to.
we
I need to
binged the
watch
whole
Rick and
series.
Morty.
But
I need
who
to watch
are
Rick
the-
and Morty.
But who are the
It is
audiences for
serialized.
those? Aaron,
It is
who
serialized.
are
It's
the
people like
audiences?
us.
Yes, exactly.
like
The
us.
older generation.
Because we remember those shows growing up, especially like on Saturday mornings, like one Saturday morning at Disney, or like on like WB. We would watch these shows.
Exactly,
Right.
but then we've got these films that we're doing for the new generation. Are they going to be as interested, especially with things
But
like
here's-
Ice Age and all the the stuff that's more CG oriented, a different
Yes,
style of animation?
Yes, it is kind of weird that that's going to be the norm.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this film technically is a CG film, but it's trying so hard to not be a CG film,
hmm
even though
It-
it's
it
97% CG.
It kind of succeeds and it kind of doesn't.
But see, that's the problem here, is that it would have been better if this was like a cartoon. I mean,
Right.
for all intents and purposes, it was a cartoon.
Right,
It was
right.
just that they used the wrong style animation. If they doing an anime style for what's a good reference point? Like anime style for reboot. It just
Right.
wouldn't work.
A lot of
It just
people
wouldn't
say,
work.
yeah, a lot of people say that our film generation, where we're being introduced to like old classic films like Citizen Kane,
Mhm.
our future kids will probably get to experience the older Disney films like they were Citizen Kane. And I'm like, no, I really want to introduce my kids, if I ever have any, that is, to the older, animated school, the older animation films. Like
Because
it
that's
just.
our comfort zone.
It's not only that, it's just that we know where it started from. We don't need, like, I'm trying to wonder
Because
to begin a new
that's
audience
the
with this.
original source material.
Right.
This is just a reboot. It basically they just took the original one and decided to update it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my biggest gripe right now is that I'm seeing they're remaking these old films. Like, they want to try to remake Back to the Future, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But they can't because the guy who owns the rights to it absolutely refuses till his dying day to let anyone remake it.
Wait, who's that guy again? I forgot what his name. Robert Zemeckis?
Yes. He actually is on record saying he will go to his grave with the
Well, not only that, but
Is he afraid of someone
Michael J.
rehashing it?
Fox, bless his heart, also has Parkinson's, and
Do you think they'd actually put him in that film?
I don't think
They
so.
wouldn't. They wouldn't.
They
They'd have a
wouldn't,
no.
whole different cast. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
But the thing is that people, they don't want to see their works get completely destroyed, like Total Recall.
Yeah, I need to watch.
Did you
Oh
watch
Rick and
both of
Morty.
them?
I saw Total Recall ages ago.
So the original one. the
Yes,
classic.
yes.
That one is great. I saw the remake. They dropped Mars. They have this weird tunnel system.
Yeah, I remember
It
that
is-
too.
It's like basically it would have been good if they didn't call it Total Recall.
Wow.
It's a completely different thing. And they did RoboCop,
Uh-huh.
which is totally different.
Uh-huh.
And like basically they try to put it up as a comic, but they fall flat on it. And the thing is
Right.
that you don't wipe his memory.
Mhm.
So he
Hmm.
knows who he is.
Mhm.
It's like, no, he's not supposed to know. The whole point of that is he rediscovers his humanity. And they completely lost that entire theme.
So I have a
they
question,
rebuilt it.
Aaron. You would have kids, right?
Does the sun come up every day?
That's not what I meant. I'm just saying, if you did have
Yes.
kids,
Eventually, I hope to.
if you did have kids, what movie would you show them? Would you show them the remake or would you show them the animated classic?
Original.
Absolutely, that's what I would have done. And I don't understand why Disney finds it in their heart to remake films we've already seen
You want to know
before.
why? Because it makes money. As if Marvel doesn't make them enough money.
Well, no, but they also feel that because there's
But
new
Marvel
kids,
does it right.
because there's new
You know
kids,
they're the
they
same
feel like they
company,
can.
right?
Yeah, I know.
Pretty
But like even
much.
still, I feel as if Disney thinks that a new generation of kids is coming to town. I don't think they animation in traditional animation. I'm like, are you nuts? Babies, toddlers eat traditional animation like candy.
They really do.
Well,
They really
toddlers eat anything you first introduce them to. That's
This
just
is
immediate
actually
exposure.
true.
That's not a fucking metric to go by. I could give a toddler a fucking cardboard box and think it's the greatest thing ever for the
Pretty
first
much.
couple days.
Great things is sliced
They
bread.
are.
Unless it's
That's a different point, Cruz. That's besides the point. You stay out of this.
But
Uh,
Yeah,
so,
the
shiny,
critical
shiny. You say Disney will buy everything. Well, guess what? They
they do.
haven't bought. And They don't own Warner Brothers yet.
Give it
That's
time.
because it's another film studio.
Give it time.
Exactly. And
It's a
could you
big
imagine
one.
could you imagine if they bought it? That'd be
You know what would
insane.
happen? You would probably happen is antitrust laws would kick into effect if they did
Not
stuff
only
like
that, it would be a monopoly.
Well, that's why antitrust
Oh,
exists to get rid
Exactly.
to keep monopolies from happening.
Because here's
Right.
the thing: like when they bought like Pixar and Lucasfilms, those were like small companies in comparison to Disney.
Right.
But if they start buying big conglomerates like that,
Mm-hmm.
oh dear God, that's when you get the real problems kicking in.
No, damn it, Shiny on the shoe. Sorry. It's a private joke between us, but never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But-
always the shoe.
Wait, do you know the
I'm
movie Tank
always
Girl?
the car.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I was gonna say it's like, wait, you know that
Huh?
Cruz knows that
Huh?
reference, but
What?
never mind. I
What?
guess
That
Cruz
is
That
probably
nonsense.
something
film
else.
Thing-
was. Do you know why that
I was
film
referencing something
had animation in it?
Because it was from a
based off
comic.
book.
It's originally off the comic.
No.
Why?
There's a reason why. They ran out of time to film it.
Are you serious?
Yes. So what they did was they
Wow.
actually filled in the blanks with actual animation.
Oh, that's
Because
great.
they ran out of time.
Oh, that's
and money.
great.
They
Well, it looks
actually
good
hired
anyway.
someone- It does. And I think it's kind of funny that there are anthropomorphic kangaroos in it.
Believe it or
That
not, there's
brilliant.
anthropomorphic
Especially
kangaroos in the Warriors.
In the what?
Do you know what?
In
I
the
said
what?
there's anthropomorphic kangaroos in Warriors of Virtue, but please, by all means, avoid that film as possible.
Okay, when Renegade Rue gets here, you should bring up Tank Girl and see if he knows about it.
Oh, I would
He
love
knows.
to.
He knows.
What's
He
really
loves
funny
Tank
about
Girl.
that film is that there's suggested intercourse between the girl and a kangaroo.
Oh yeah, no, I'm well aware.
It's implied.
It's implied in the comics and in the movie. Yeah.
Yes, it is absolutely hilarious.
Right.
And you know what? Ice-T's in the damn film too.
That is also amazing.
Kangaroo in there.
I love
mean,
that.
I mean, that film is brilliant, and thank you. I had no idea you knew about that film.
It's one of the
It's
a
a
nostalgic film for
brilliant-
me.
It is a. I remember seeing that film on VHS. That is a good film.
You're the first person that said like most people hate that film. It's like I loved it. I mean,
I love that.
I'm not a
film.
movie critic, so I don't really
I
care
haven't
what's
seen
well
It's
received or not. but
hilarious.
I
That
loved
film. Especially when you have crazy guy with the water.
Right. One second. Good night, Sir Wags. Thanks for joining. All right, continue.
Kangaroo, yeah.
Aw, good
Oh
night.
God.
But no, that film, honestly,
Chicken.
you should definitely talk about that in your treehouse, especially with Renegade Kangaroo, because
Oh,
that would
God.
be priceless.
Chicken.
Oh, well, guess what?
Kangaroos about kangaroos
Chicken
and Renegade.
blood.
Well, yeah, but guess what? Renegade Kangaroo will be here on the 8th, and guess what film we're going to be talking about then?
You already said. But for the
Yep,
chat, let
Ratchet
them
and
know.
Clank.
There you go.
Ratchet and Clank. But anyway,
That lucky son of a gun.
but yeah, final question. Did you like this movie more than the original, or did you find it same? For me, I had found it about the same.
I'd say about the same. You know what? Here's the thing.
I also
really-
did not like the Creed at the. I thought it was such corny dialogue. Sorry.
Here's the
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Uh,
I honestly think this film would have been better if they had stuck with it just saying, screw it, let's just make it animated, computer animated. not traditional, just computer animated, because that's
Correct.
the style of the times.
Thankfully, just not the Polar Express type of animation, because that would have been awful.
I don't think Disney would stoop to that level.
Well, they
know
kind of
better
did
than
when
that.
they made A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, but anyway.
Right.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is, if it was like 40% CGI, okay. But when it's 97%, at that point, that 3% is only man cub.
Yeah, pretty much.
All
And
this. So at that point,
Yeah.
just make the whole fucker animated.
yeah,
Just make it
Life of
animated.
Pi would have been a better film if the tiger was an actual tiger.
I
You mean
get,
Fiber
like, I haven't
Kitty?
seen the film, so I don't know.
If,
But
if Fiber Kitty was no, but if the film was made with an actual tiger,
Oh dear God, Shudder.
it would have been great.
Oh god.
Oh wow, the Fellowship.
Nurse Ratchet.
Do you know
Yo.
what? We've officially come full circle. So we've gone from what was the theme originally? Corn. Now we're talking about Ratchet.
yup.
Because
All
you
comes-
Ratchet.
It all comes full circle.
It becomes full circle. Ratchet, and really shiny. Ratchet and hose.
Yup.
Well, actually, he would get the hose now. No, he would get some nice. Well, I'm not going to go that way.
He plays the Ratchet and Clanker. He gets the hose again.
But yeah, it was directed by Jon Favreau, who directed Elf, Zathura, Iron Man's 1 and 2. What did you think
Nice.
about those? I loved Zathura. I thought it was great.
I loved all of them.
Elf, if I remember correctly, I didn't care for. It's
No.
not.
Yeah, I didn't care about that one either.
Zathura. Sorry. I love that. I actually really did like it. I didn't think it was as good as Jumanji, which everyone was comparing it to, but it's really
Jumanji
good.
was
Here,
great.
hold on. The reason why it's related to Jumanji is because it's written by the same author.
I'm aware,
who
but
made Jumanji.
that's the same thing. It's like I hate when people put that expectation in your head because like it's not going to be as good. But it was for itself. If I'm not thinking, oh, compared to Jumanji, I liked it. I did. But if I think compared to Jumanji, it's
But
like nope.
I think
not
it's
as
an
good.
effective film. I don't. Will it be classic? I don't know. It's too
I
early to
don't.
tell.
It's not that classic. It's
the
very
problem-
underrated.
I'm talking about Jungle Book.
Oh.
I'm just saying that I don't know if it'll become a classic because I don't think it's going to age well.
No, I agree with
I
that.
mean, here's the thing.
agree.
Like,
It's
okay, if they
yeah,
had
it's like it's
just
a
done with
theater
a lesser
film.
realistic
Mhm.
route and done like a straight up animation film, like, have you watched Toy Story? And I mean the original one from '96.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did you see it in theaters when it came out?
No, I saw it on VHS.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh my god, I'm dating myself. Okay, so I saw it in theaters. It looked amazing. I just watched it less than a few weeks ago. And you know what? The animation still holds up.
Well, yeah, because it's fucking
But-
Pixar.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But the point but then if you look at like films like what's a good cringer? Like any action films made in the 2000s.
Oh,
They
true.
Just
Dump
kidding. Just kidding.
CGI into them.
Yeah.
Those, and you look at them today.
You mean like Mission Impossible, where the guy's on the train and you?
Yeah,
Oh,
when you
it's
start
CG.
realizing, like, you can see the animation. Like, I watched Kung Fu Hustle, which is a phenomenal Chinese film. By the way,
Oh,
go-
Kung Fu
go
Hustle,
watch
so
it.
good.
It
Sorry.
is fucking amazingly good. I saw it in theaters. I thought it was the best thing ever, and I saw it with subtitles, so it wasn't even dubbed.
It's
I
so
wanted
good.
to see.
It
I
was
wanted to see
brilliant.
Shaolin Soccer.
But
I do want to see
didn't
that,
like
actually.
I actually didn't like that one.
I've never seen it. I want to see it.
Fabricate begs to differ, but I honestly don't like that one.
Oh,
But
okay.
my point is this: CGI did not age well. It looks absolutely shitty.
Right.
And that film came out in 2004,
Right.
and Toy Story came out in '96. So what's the problem here? One went totally animated. They decided to do a cartoon-based animation.
Oh, it's by the same
And
person who
it
made
aged-
Kung Fu Hustle. Nice.
And yes, exactly. And it aged much better than when they were trying so hard to be reality.
Right.
That's my fear about this film. I think they pushed the edge to so hard realism. I mean, it's not there yet. Basically, what they are trying to get is the point where you have a camera, you have two images, and you're told one is fake, spot the difference.
Right.
Right.
That's the point they're getting to.
Mhm.
where you can't tell they're getting there. They are not there yet.
No, that's true.
Especially 10 years ago, they're not there yet.
No.
And
No,
I
of
thought they'd
course
be
not.
there now. They still aren't after 10 years.
Yep.
When will they
You
be
want to know
there?
the worst?
Maybe 20, 30 years.
Maybe.
But
You want to know the worst part about the Jungle Book now that it's made?
What?
Andy
It's
Serkis. Andy Serkis, the guy who played Smeagol in Lord of the Rings, is actually directing the Jungle Book 2 years down the road, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
not Disney. It's
Oh,
by
man.
Warner Brothers, and I'm wondering how that film is going. But even still, I don't know what to think.
Right.
and we've forgotten 5 years. Except for cameras make juicy. Shiny, be quite honest, you're right. I honestly think you're right. Because that film was there and gone. It did its thing and left. It's definitely not.
Yeah,
Titanic.
but Cameron's making Avatar 2, though.
Yes,
he
because
said there's
Avatar
sequels.
1 made the most amount of money than any other film in history.
Which
Star
I really
Wars-
want.
and
Which
here's
I
the
really
fun
wanted
part.
Star Wars to break, but unfortunately it didn't.
But here's the thing: Star Wars is still has not broken Titanic.
Mhm.
It still hasn't. What
The
Right.
reason why it hadn't the reason why it hadn't broken Titanic was because Titanic had a second re-release.
But here's the thing about Titanic, is that it did that. It's still there. Cameron has not been broken since what 1998. No one has cracked his ceiling at all. That's why they're
Yeah.
making sequels. But the thing is, you're right, Shiny. It honestly is not going to be remembered
Right.
at all because it's a very forgettable film. Here's the thing about the film: is a very safe plot line.
Yes.
Yes,
it's
it
not.
has
It's
the
not even
animation
that.
was
It's not even
amazing
that.
back
The
then.
plot line is borrowed from other plot lines.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, that's what it means.
It is a
It's been
safe
tried and
plot
true,
line.
so it's safe.
They know it's going to work. There is
Avatar
Kurt
2
Vonnegut-
is going to take place
you know what
in
Kurt-
the ocean,
yes.
which I'm I'm
very
kind of wondering
difficult.
what it's going to look like.
But my point is this: have you ever heard of a guy called Kurt Vonnegut?
Of course.
Okay, he
heard of
did a
Kurt Vonnegut.
lesson about. He did Slaughterhouse 5. He's
Yeah,
a very,
Slaughterhouse
very
5, he
famous
did.
author.
God, he did
Here's the
so
point.
many.
He did his lesson about different plot lines.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually he showed on a graph which plot lines to go through. And he said, if you write this one, you'll make $1 million. And he went over the plot line of Cinderella on a chalkboard.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why everyone laughed and were like clapping is because he's right. They're
Right.
safe. They've been tried and true. They'll always make money. And
Right.
that's my fear right now is Hollywood's just rehashing old ideas.
Mhm.
I have to say, Ratchet
yeah,
and Clank
when that blatantly happens.
Mhm.
Ratchet and Clank actually looks like something that's going to push boundaries. Because unlike Jungle
You're seeing
Book,
Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yeah.
because think about it, it's an original plot line.
Yeah, Aaron,
I mean,
by
yes,
the way,
it's established.
Aaron, 2016 is such a great year to be a furry.
He means for the films that have come out. Oh God.
What? You don't like Lego?
No, I don't like
Yeah,
Lego
look,
movie.
Me and
Hey.
Zach got into a debate
Yeah.
of
We've
not
been
liking
over
the
this.
Lego movie, and we
Well,
bared our fangs at each
That's
other.
fun.
Let's just say
A
that.
lot of
Here's
salt
Why?
was
From a
shed.
but here's a question:
Uh,
from a technical standpoint, or from a plot standpoint?
the plot's not bad. I liked honestly the spaceship freakout. It's the one
That
time
was funny.
I laughed during the movie, and it was the last. It's not bad. And I admit my main thing is it just was not the type of movie I liked. Like when I say I hate the movie, it's not It's not me saying the movie sucks. It's poorly done. These blah blah. It's just it did not reach to me.
It
There's
didn't
something
click with
about
you.
it I fundamentally just couldn't get into.
So most likely plot then.
No, not even the plot. It's just it was like it felt very ADD generation sporadic. It's just,
did.
and it was like for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm not sure if I'm too drunk for this or not drunk enough, but I'm dying. I can't keep watching.
Quite honestly, you have a good point there. But I do have ADHD, so for me, it felt coherent. But
I love Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken is very ADHD.
Me too.
Well,
and it
but
felt
here's the thing about Robot Chicken: it separates everything by changing the channels, so you know you're going to the next door.
Oh, that's a good point.
But the thing is that in like Lego, it is jumping around a lot, and like scenes go from one to the other with like almost seamlessly. So it feels like it's jumping completely in different directions. But for Robot
course.
Chicken, you have that pause between scenes. And actually, Rick and Morty had 2 episodes where they had like, what was it, a Kale box that had infinite channels
Right.
across interdimensional timelines. And essentially, all it was sketch comedy. And they separate everything by changing the channel.
Yeah, true.
That's my argument about that. But yes, I can see why that would be a bad thing about Lego right there. Although I have to say about Lego, I was floored at how closely they did with Legos.
Yes.
The plot
yes.
was, the plot has been done before, where
But
an
I
unlikely
love-
hero comes up.
But
and
everyone
has to
grew
save
up with
the
Legos,
universe.
and they know the culture of Legos.
That's the thing, though.
course.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm not talking about the plot now. I'm just talking about the actual animation.
Right.
Is phenomenal.
Mhm.
But the plot, take it or leave it.
Yep.
I did like the touching
Yeah.
moments at the end, but you know what? The plot, I think they could have done a little bit better with the plot. And you're right, it's very ADHD. But then again, the theme of Legos is that you can basically smash them, build something else out of them.
True. True.
But
And I did.
yeah, I understand, Zach, where you're coming from. It
Yeah.
makes perfect sense to me.
So
See? No fangs.
there you go. Yeah. No. That's there you go. It's a discussion. I like these. I don't get these. But,
Exactly.
One thing I want to bring up, because I think this is about the end of the show, but there's
Zach,
something.
wait a minute. Shiny, you are correct. It is Ferngully.
It'll be close
Yes.
to the end. I mean,
It's been a bit later, but one thing I want to bring up, because Scarfy, for a while I've been asking about this, and we kind of abandoned it for a while. Nothing was happening with it, so I wanted to bring up something that might bring him a smile today. At the end of our show, the reason we have that contact information is so you can email us questions, and we got a question that someone wanted us to address today. But yeah,
Really?
we got a
I did
question.
not know this.
We got one just now, and it's going to be. You're welcome to comment stuff, but it's going to be a little more geared towards Scarfy, actually, because it's from NeuroFox, and it was, I wanted to ask, what started the idea for Subwuffer Entertainment? Is there a backstory or anything behind it? By the way, love your stream. Thanks, Neuro. Sorry you couldn't stick around for us to answer it, but it will be in the recording for you.
Yep.
Well, Subwoofer Entertainment Treehouse started when I met Zack on Twitter when I became furry, and then Shujja kind of just joined in the mix. He didn't really have his persona name at the time. You know, on Twitter, he was known by, funnily enough, he was known by his real name, which I'm not gonna make on the show here.
Right,
but
right.
our show was inspired because me and Zack, Shujja, and I decided we were just RPing with each other harmlessly. So much fun, and we decided we wanted to make a treehouse and we wanted to live together, and we just made a treehouse and we RP'd it, and and then it was just, it kind of took off like that, and then like I think Kruz kind of joined in, you know, a couple months later, but you know he wasn't late to the party. He's just trying to get, you know.
And I don't mean to step on your tail, but Scarfy's being a little modest. One thing he actually did bring up, it's like, hey, I have this idea that I think would be kind of cool. I'd like to do a podcast. And he brought it up to us, and we were like, it's like, what do you mean? So he came up with the idea, told us about it. We were all a little, up for it, some more excited than others. I was like, I think this is cool. I've never done one before. I'd like to help you work it because I have some experience doing the technical side of this sort of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'd be down for that. And Chip was up for it, and Cruz was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. And we just sort of, it evolved over time, and we had the launch date for like 6 months. How long was it? It felt like 6 months. Might have been less before it happened. We got our shit together.
It felt like forever, but like we just kept running into problem after problem after problem.
And then we started.
It was an idea that just kept growing around.
Yeah, exactly.
It eventually like took off.
Yep. And so here we are talking to a lovely kitsune and having fun with all you crazy fuzzies and just living a part of the dream, at least.
Yeah, a treehouse. It's literally a treehouse. We literally made the treehouse. It is
an awesome treehouse.
So thank you for joining us in it.
And I am very glad you invited me in. It has definitely been an honor, for sure.
The reason why we invited you to talk about
We lost you.
ferals, and
Okay.
it involved ferals, but it also involved talking animals, and we just thought, oh, what a better way to talk about it than a person
Yes,
who's an expert on
because-
ferals.
Yeah,
Yes, I guess I
Ethereum.
don't think
Yeah.
most. Yes, I don't think most people know that I'm both Etherean and my actual character is supposed to be feral.
Mm-hmm. Hence the noises instead of words when we see you in fursuit usually.
Yes, basically in fursuit, I do a combo.
Yeah.
I do both noises and that. And if you see me in fursuit, most likely I'm going to make that. Well, at this point, I guess it's a trademark pose where I
Yep.
just put my arms up, I turn my head, and then I just open my mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty much
And
like every
people-
time I try to get your attention, you just turn your.
Well,
That is my
I know it's
go-to
you.
move, and I always do the noises. And usually, here's another thing I do to break the ice.
Huh?
Cons, you see all these people. What?
Huh?
Anyways,
Huh?
okay. I see at cons, you see all these people in little groups, in little circles, all over the place.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, So what I do is I go up to one person that's listening intently. I just go up to him and give him little bunny ears.
Ha! Ha!
Guaranteed, within a matter of seconds, you see the other people in their circle start grabbing their phones
Mm-hmm.
to take a picture. And the poor son of a bitch is like, "What are you doing?" Like, don't move. Now look behind you.
Oh my god.
And that's how you break the ice, people.
There you go.
I do that
Yep.
at every single con.
I
So
actually
you may have been bunny-eared and not even known it.
Of
I've only
course.
seen you do it once, but I know you do it a lot.
I
just
do
only
it
caught you
all
once.
the time. It's really funny to do it. I've done it to Chi Obscura before.
Of course.
I've done it to.
That's where I saw you do it, actually,
not-
Cheetah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did it to my Confuzzled, where he was taking a selfie and I actually just did the bunny ears. He didn't know it until he looked at his camera.
Yup, that sounds all right.
Yes, it's like, oh look who's photobombing us today.
All right. Well, I'm gonna actually have to be the party pooper and call the stream
Yeah,
because I gotta
Well-
go.
Well,
think
guys,
on,
yeah.
because I have to be.
I just want to say
Oh,
one
I have
last
to be up
thing. But
early, but
All right.
I want to say one
Cruz,
last
go
thing
ahead.
about the Jungle Book.
Huh?
And
Good.
yeah, I mean, just as it was a short thought about. I mean, I think it was satisfying to say that it was like to have that badass actiony through the fire and flames kind of feel and like for musical thing.
You're cutting a little in and out. We got a bit of that. We heard Through the Fire and
Yeah.
Flames and musical thing.
I mean, they did the badass adventurous rendition
right.
of them.
Of
That
course.
was pretty satisfying to see.
It was.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and
My ping
and-
is skyrocketing right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm gonna go
Let's
ahead and
try
say
it.
goodbye last. You guys say goodbye, and then I'll say goodbye last.
All right, we'll start with a guest to Cruz to meet Scarfy. So, our special and wonderful guest.
okay. I have to say, thank you so much for inviting me up in your treehouse. It has been an honor being here, and I really hope to come back one day.
You do us too much service, but thank you for coming. We had a blast with you.
I loved coming. Thank you so much. And to those people that came just because I'm on, keep watching these guys. They're really good at their
Thank
job.
you.
Thank
So,
These guys.
with that,
It's like we actually entertain. Like not saying you did all the work, but even without you, we are still
Yep.
funny.
Yep, we tried.
But it's just enhanced.
you. Cruz, are you gonna say bye?
Well, it's but why?
Because I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, come on, say goodbye.
I know. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
And
And
then
I'm-
as for
Sorry, I'm Zack Gray. Pleasure having you as always, and our ringleader.
hi guys, my name bye guys. My name is Scarfy, and for those of you who are asking, what are you gonna do now? I have one more thing to say. Go watch Corn.
Oh, God.
oh God.
Go for
All right.
Children of. See you later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye guys.